Chapter 901. Zhao Yiprofound saw that Chen Shang had not moved for more than 2 hours, and could not help but become restless. Previously, she had personally witnessed the Lion Mountain burning with terrifying blue flames, and was worried that this Lion Mountain would do the same. Is this also a Lion Mountain that can move? Zhao Yiprofound asked. No, this Lion Mountain can't move, but it can hide 10 transmission arrays. Only one of these 10 transmission arrays can be teleported to a safe place. Chen Shang said. I am trying to find a way to differentiate the transmission array. Chen Shang spoke the truth with a headache, because he did not know how to make the choice within the 10 transmission arrays. The stone tablet did not specify which one was the safest option, nor did it say where the transmission array would go if he was mistaken. After a short while, Chen Shang opened his eyes and sighed. Looks like we have to take the risk this time. Let's go find those 10 transmission arrays first. Don't kill us. Zhao Yiprofound was a little unhappy, because he wasn't very confident now. Don't worry about me, you can leave by yourself. Chen Shang glanced at her, then headed towards the top of the mountain. There were a few paths for every safe Lion Mountain, but Chen Shang had chosen the last path. He felt that he could approach the Emperor's tomb this way. The Lion Mountain was very big, it was not easy to find 10 transmission arrays from there, and they were even hidden very easily. Fortunately, Chen Shang had found some clues from the stone tablet, and was able to find a rough direction for him to head towards. Chen Shang had been relaxed along the way, because he was the most important person in this group. Whether or not he could get out was entirely up to him, and he believed that it wouldn't be too hard to get out. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were extremely worried for Chen Shang, but they had no choice but to believe in Chen Shang. Seeing Chen Zhang's relaxed look, they felt extremely unhappy in their hearts. This is the first transmission array, mark it well. They came to the center of a few large trees. This transmission array was actually formed from a large tree, and if one did not see some strange patterns on the ground connecting to a large tree, no one would be able to see it. Chen Shang swept the dust off the ground and carefully observed the spirit grain. Seeing how serious he looked, Ji Meixian and the others secretly cursed. They did not expect Chen Shang to be proficient in these spirit grains. This transmission array is very unreliable. The location of the teleportation is a dangerous group of Lion Mountain. Chen Shang shook his head. Do you have any demon beasts in Lion Mountain? Ji Meixian suddenly said to Chen Shang. I sensed something, it's something that can move, and it's a rare item that absorbs a large amount of plant essence. Chen Shang replied as he furrowed his brows, only dangerous Lion Mountain would have demonic beasts. This Lion Mountain is safe, there shouldn't be anything else. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound also realized that something was amiss. They could feel the fluctuations of energy. Little naughty dragon, let's go take a look. Chen Shang could also feel it now, that it was the rich essence of flowers, plants and trees, frantically being sucked out by something. Even if he wanted to use the devouring magic Kung Fu, it wouldn't be easy to extract all these energy. It's good stuff, don't let that woman have it. Long Shui shouted as he and Feng Ziprofound flew out. Chen Shang and Ji Meixian immediately rushed over, only some naturally formed spirit objects had a chance of absorbing the wood essence. Sure enough, they soon saw a thumb-sized white pearl crazily devouring some multicolored mist, which was the essence of the nearby plants and flowers. This is the Kaomu Heavenly Dan, you have to obtain it. Su Meiyao shouted in shock. Chen Shang had never heard of it, but from Su Meiyao's reaction, he knew how precious this Kaomu Heavenly Dan was. However, Feng Ziprofound and Zhao Yiprofound were even faster than him, and arrived beside the Kaomu Heavenly Dan in an instant. Both of them reached out to grab the Kaomu Heavenly Dan at the same time, but surprisingly, the Kaomu Heavenly Dan turned into a ray of light and shot into the ground. Little maid, quickly feel where that thing is and tell me. Chen Shang anxiously shouted. Ji Meixian replied. I can't sense it, but this thing seems to know how to restrain its aura. Long Shui immediately released 108 divine intents, unleashing the Heaven Tour method to its limit as he sent all of his divine intents into the ground, searching for the Kaomu Heavenly Dan. Feng Ziprofound and Zhao Yiprofound also used their divine intents to search for Kaomu Heavenly Dan's on the ground, but they suddenly felt an enormous pressure from Chen Zhang's divine sense, causing them to jump in fright. They thought that there was some old fellow in the vicinity, but they immediately realized that the divine intent was actually emitted from Chen Zhang's body. Chen Shang possessed such a terrifying divine intent, it was completely against the norm. This caused Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound to be extremely shocked, as they looked at Chen Shang with extreme vigilance. Now, Chen Shang could not care so much, he had to obtain that Keomu Heavenly Dan. Ji Meixian was also extremely curious about that thing, and it was actually able to instantly disappear from the range of her spiritual perception. Only she knew that the consciousness Chen Shang released was Long Shui's, and that Imperial Dragon race cultivates the divine way. Found it, hide underneath it. Long Shui said, only to see Chen Zhang's body releasing a burst of white light, and crawling into the ground. Long Shui actually went out to capture the Keomu Heavenly Dan herself, but right now, only she could get her hands on it quickly. What's that? Zhao Yiprofound felt a powerful being suddenly running out of Chen Zhang's body, but she could not figure out what it was. None of your business. If you run into any good stuff, just get it based on your own abilities. Don't even think about stealing it. Chen Shang looked at Feng Ziprofound warily. He took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword because both Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were holding onto weapons. At this moment, Long Shui sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, that thing's speed is extremely fast. The moment she finished speaking, a white pearl of light flew out. Chen Shang waved her sleeve, releasing a large amount of water vapor, enveloping the Keomu Heavenly Dan that had just flown out, and then, a wave of cold energy surged out. Seeing that, Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound jumped up. It's mine, Chen Shang roared out angrily as the sound wave shattered that huge block of ice. He then used the spatial extraction technique to grab that Keomu Heavenly Dan. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were furious, they were much stronger than Chen Shang and were the first ones to discover the Keomu Heavenly Dan, almost getting it, but in the end the Keomu Heavenly Dan ran away and landed in Chen Zhang's hands. Seeing Chen Shang holding on to the small pearl that was emitting light, Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound's eyes burned with envy and greed, and they immediately flashed and arrived in front of Chen Shang. Chen Shang was furious in his heart. They had clearly fallen into his hands, but these two people still wanted to snatch it away. Chapter 902. The Keomu Heavenly Dan was caught in Chen Zhang's hand and could not be placed into the Yuyao ring, which was very strange. When Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound arrived in front of Chen Shang, they both struck out with their palms at the same time. The force behind the palm was extremely strong, the wind produced from the palm strike broke all the trees behind Chen Shang, and Chen Shang barely dodged it, but he was still shaken to the point where he spat out blood. Eat it, Su Meiyao said. From the looks of it, Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were going to plunder the Keomu Heavenly Dan's no matter what methods they use, and so they struck out at Chen Shang consecutively. But being attacked by the two experts, Chen Shang was able to dodge more than 10 of them. Hand it over, Zhao Yiprofound shouted coldly. Her jade palm released a kind of light blue icy qi, causing her surroundings to be covered in cold ice and frost. Her palm struck down, and at the same time, it released a burst of cold wind that blew towards Feng Ziprofound, as though she wanted to take all the Keomu Heavenly Dan by herself. However, Zhao Yiprofound's expression immediately changed, because the one sealed in the ice was not Chen Shang, but was only an illusion. Chen Shang was already hiding behind a tree and swallowing the Keomu Heavenly Dan. When Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound rushed over, it was already too late, because the Keomu Heavenly Dan had already melted into Chen Zhang's body and started to merge with it. Zhao Yiprofound waved his hand and slapped across, but it only hit an illusion. His palm hit the big tree and cracked the tree trunk. Chen Zhang's body overflowed with a light green mist. He was hiding within the dense leaves on top of a large tree, as if he had merged with the leaves, so no one could discover him. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were shocked, they cursed Chen Shang in their hearts while looking all over the place. Ji Meixian being ordered to look for Chen Shang was even more so, because she could not sense Chen Shang with her spirit sense. All she knew was that Chen Shang was still nearby, and that it was all because of master-servant contract. Damned slut, you were almost killed by her. Don't ever hope to leave this place alive in your life. At this time, Chen Shang was extremely angry. Fortunately he had already merged with the Keomu Heavenly Dan, so even Ji Meixian was not able to find him. Eating this Keomu Heavenly Dan can allow you to integrate with nature, making it easier for you to comprehend the natural power of the earth, allowing you to absorb the plant essence. Furthermore, it will allow your aura to completely merge with nature and not be discovered by others. Su Meiyao heaved a sigh of relief. Just now, he was truly shocked to discover that being ambushed by two Heaven Realm rankers meant that he was weak. It was not because of Chen Zhang's rich experience in battle, but because of the heavy injuries. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound knew that it was a Kaomu heavenly Dan. Even in the heaven realm, it was extremely valuable, allowing many people to snatch it until their heads bled. Now, they knew that Chen Shang had hidden himself to merge with the Kaomu heavenly Dan. If Chen Shang succeeded in doing so, he would be able to escape their pursuit. In the future, even if they had an even stronger treasure, they would not be able to find Chen Shang. Zhao Yiprofound took out a round green jade plate. On the green jade plate, there was a finger array, and the finger array was frantically revolving. Chen Shang guessed that the green jade plate was a tracking treasure, but it was obviously ineffective now, and was unable to pinpoint the direction. Feng Ziprofound also had a green jade plate, and under the same situation, the array would spin, with no fixed target. This is troublesome, Zhao Yiprofound frowned and muttered to himself. He was even stomping his feet vigorously, because if Chen Shang left this Lion Mountain, they would be trapped here forever. Although Ji Meixian had obediently listened to her arrangements, she was gloating in her heart. She was an experienced person, and had suffered many losses at Chen Zhang's hands, so these two people who were stronger than her, were still toyed around with by her. Now, she was trapped and died here. She was Chen Zhang's little maid, and her relationship with Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao's master was very complicated. Chen Shang regarded her very highly, and would not abandon her. While Chen Shang was fusing with the Kaomu Heavenly Dan, he was also considering whether he should use Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound. However, these two were too dangerous, he had almost been killed just now. However, just him and Ji Meixian alone would be in danger here. If they bumped into some powerful beasts or anything like that, they would be in danger. Chen Shang, come out, I promise I will not do anything to you, I can swear a blood oath. Zhao Yiprofound became anxious. They had not been able to find him for more than 6 hours, but they had no idea that Chen Shang had been hiding inside that tree the entire time. Chen Shang sneered in his heart. He would not go out, he had to continue waiting, since this Lion Mountain was safe anyway and the spirit energy here was suitable for his cultivation. It would not be a problem for him to stay here for a year or so. As long as you come out, we will immediately swear a blood oath and never make a move on you again. Feng Ziprofound was even more anxious, he did not want to stay in this damned place forever. Even if he was trapped for 10 or 8 years, he was still extremely unwilling. Feng Ziprofound and Zhao Yiprofound were both the heavenly sisters of the big powers, with their current strength they could only cultivate after absorbing the immortal qi. They did not have much pills, so if they were trapped here for too long, they would not be able to raise their strength at all. At that time, they would just die of old age, and if their situation dragged on for too long, someone from Heaven Realm would take over their position, and their good days would soon come to an end. Ji Meixian looked at Zhao Yiprofound's anxious and furious expression, and thought to himself, you obviously have a favor to ask, and yet you still want to kill someone else, you deserve it. She knew Chen Shang was still in the Lion Mountain, and she also understood that Chen Zhang's current plan was to make Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound anxious on purpose. Little maid, you must think of a way to lure those two idiots over to the transmission array. I remember that the stone tablet mentioned that there is a transmission array that is disguised as a killing array. If it succeeds, both idiots will be injured by the killing array. Don't be afraid to get hurt, I have pills to help you recover. Chen Shang pondered for a while and finally thought of a good idea. After Ji Meixian received Chen Zhang's sound transmission, he immediately replied, okay, tell me the location of the killing array, I'll try my best to deceive them. She was wearing divine clothes, and since Chen Shang had already returned the undergarment to her, it was already complete and even more powerful than before. Therefore, Chen Shang was not worried that she would be killed by the killing array, at most she would suffer a little. Ji Meixian was not afraid of hardships, she just wanted to quickly get rid of Zhao Yiprofound and ruthlessly slap this woman on her face dozens of times. Chen Shang told Ji Meixian the direction of the killing array. Ji Meixian's eyes flickered, as he was thinking of a lie. After thinking about it, she sent a sound transmission to Zhao Yiprofound, Miss Heavenly Maiden, I think we should search for those transmission array first. This Lion Mountain isn't really that big, we just need to take some time to find them. We can also threaten him, if he doesn't come out, we will destroy the transmission array and perish together with him. Quote. Chapter 903. Zhao Yiprofound looked at Ji Meixian, and her eyes sparkled, she suddenly felt that Ji Meixian was very scary. Previously, she had bullied and humiliated him, but now, he was trying to curry favor with her. But she knew Ji Meixian's strength, In her eyes, he was nothing more than ashes. She could blow him away with a single breath, so she was not afraid that Jimexian would harm her. Jimexian's way of thinking was indeed not bad. Zhao Yiprofound nodded to her, then called Feng Ziprofound over. Although there were some conflicts between them, they had no choice but to work together now. Then, I will wait for them to find two, then I will tell them the rules inside. Then, you will pretend to discover the rules, find the other transmission array, and leave the killing array to the last person. When you guys get close to that killing array, I will activate it. After Chen Shang found out about Jimexian's plan, he began to discuss it with Jimexian. Jimexian was an old man to begin with. Now that they had teamed up with Chen Shang, even though Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were strong in one side, they were merely young chickens who did not know the limits of the heavens in their eyes. Master, that Zhao Yiprofound must be left for me. Jimexian said, although she called Chen Shang master, but her tone did not sound like a female slave at all. Good, but don't torture her to death. If we want to get close to the emperor's tomb, we have to rely on her. That man is weaker than Zhao Yiprofound, there's no use in keeping him. Chen Shang said. The three of them split up and searched for the transmission array. Jimexian searched for 2 days, pretended to have stumbled upon one of them by chance, the one he and Feng Ziprofound each searched for 5 days later. You also know formations. Zhao Yiprofound saw Jimexian squatting on the ground, staring at the transmission array formed by the big trees, caressing the runes with her jade hands. I know a little, but I have learned it before. These spirit grain are all very ancient, and the spirit grain that the Tongtian aristocratic family and Sheng domain have in their possession right now should be created using these spirit grain as the foundation. Jimexian said, she really did understand a little. After all, she had been in the heaven realm for many years, and she herself was from there. Chen Shang is still in the Lion Mountain, because he needs a lot of energy to activate the transmission array. If he wants to activate it, he will have to use a large amount of spar, and at that time, we will definitely be able to find him. However, he might have other methods, so it would be better for us to find the other transmission array. Jimexian stood up, and looked around. We've already found 4, and they aren't too far apart, making them easy to monitor. From the looks of these 4 transmission arrays, there should be a set pattern to the positions they are at. I think I should be able to find the other 6 from them. Zhao Yiprofound did not dare to underestimate Jimexian. After all, Jimexian was also a daughter of heaven, and if she was given time, she would be able to grow to her level in the future, and she would even be so proficient in array formations, so it was rare to see a daughter of heaven like this. Whether it was the heaven realm or the mortal realm, the son of heaven and the daughter of heaven's main goal was to raise their strength, and not do anything else. Chen Shang told Jimexian the rules. As Jimexian followed a few tracks, he explained the rules, which surprised both Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound, because all of these were laid out by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then. But now, a small heavenly girl like Jimexian was actually able to see through the rules. They were clear that this required a very complicated process of calculation. They all heaved a sigh of relief. As long as Chen Shang was still in the Lion Mountain, they would have hoped to find him. And right now, they could monitor those transmission arrays. The 9th. One more to go. Jimexian pretended to be tired as he sweated profusely. Don't stop, continue to find the last one for me. Zhao Yiprofound's voice became stern. If she did not see Jimexian proficient in formation, she would have already slapped him or scolded him loudly. Yes sir. Jimexian replied softly. She knew she wouldn't have to endure for long. Chen Shang had been hiding in the vicinity of the killing array. The moment someone arrived, he would immediately activate it. That killing array was actually a trap. If one did not completely understand the contents of the stone tablet, one would not know that it was a killing array. Jimexian was already prepared. When the killing array opened, she would immediately use her divine clothes to block. This is the last one, but this one is a bit strange, hurry and come over. Jimexian purposely had a face of shock, looking at the runes on the ground. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound immediately entered the forest. They discovered that the runes on the ground were different from others, they were even more profound and looked extremely powerful. It made people suspect that this might be a transmission array that could bring them away. Do you know how to open this transmission array? Zhao Yiprofound asked. Chen Shang laughed in his heart, and said in his heart, I know. With a thought, he used his soul consciousness to trigger the hidden source of the killing array. he saw that the killing array suddenly burst into a red light and countless red long swords suddenly shot over from all directions. Ji Meixian had God's robe to protect her. The terrifying sword chi was unable to penetrate her body, but was able to send her flying. In that moment, Zhao Yiprofound and Zhao Yiprofound immediately released their treasures to block, and retreated out of the killing array at the same time. However, the powerful sword chi released by the killing array destroyed all their treasures, and in a few blinks of an eye, they were covered in blood. This wasn't the end. After the red light disappeared, it shot out many fire dragons that coiled around their bodies, causing them to let out miserable cries. Although Ji Meixian had been knocked out, her internal injuries were severe. She still had lingering fear in her heart at this moment, because if she did not have the divine robe protecting her body, she would have been burnt into countless pieces of meat by now. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound did not die because they were supporting themselves with their terrifying power. After the flame passed, the killing array released a terrifying cold air. All the trees within several feet of the killing array were frozen and then shattered. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were frozen to the point that they couldn't move, followed by bursts of purple lightning that shot out from the killing array, striking the two people. Zhao Yiprofound did not die. She opened her eyes wide. She could see Ji Meixian meditating in the distance. It annoyed her so much that her teeth were itching for action. Of course she could see that Ji Meixian had a powerful treasure, much more powerful than their immortal equipment, which made her extremely jealous. And what was even more infuriating was that Chen Shang had appeared at that moment. He was standing right behind Ji Meixian, and even gave him a spirit pellet. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were so angry that their bodies almost exploded. Even if they used their toes to kick, they could already imagine that Chen Shang and Ji Meixian had teamed up and tricked them. Ji Meixian ate the relived Dan and recovered most of his strength. He stood up to follow behind Chen Shang as he walked towards the killing array with a smile. Chapter 904. The killing array was still crazily attacking Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound. Its strength was not as strong as before, and now the killing array was under Chen Zhang's control. Chen Shang smiled as he walked in front of Zhao Yiprofound. When Zhao Yiprofound saw his little face and the obedient Ji Meixian behind him, both her and Feng Ziprofound's eyes were spitting fire. Although Ji Meixian was the heavenly daughter of the mortal realm, she was also very high up in the sky. Furthermore, they could tell that Ji Meixian was very obedient. Tisk tisk, Miss Heavenly Maiden, you look really miserable right now. How did you do that? Chen Shang stood about 10 feet away from the killing array and revealed a complacent smile. Zhao Yiprofound wanted to say something, but the lightning struck her body that was riddled with wounds, causing her to scream in pain. This killing array was not ordinary. Furthermore, there was still a large amount of energy that was not consumed. Only Chen Shang could activate this killing array, because the way to activate these array formations were all inside the stone tablet. Although Ji Meixian's injuries were much better, they still left a lingering fear in her heart. Just now, she was severely injured in this killing array. If not for her anxiously releasing her divine clothes to block, even if she did not die, she would still be suffering inside. This was the power of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Randomly setting up a small killing array would be able to torture all the rankers from above the heaven realm to death. She felt that only with her peak strength back then would she be able to resist the power of the killing array. Chen Shang. Zhao Yiprofound shouted angrily, but she could only say that word, and was struck by a terrifying bolt of purple lightning. Feng Ziprofound had received the strongest attack. This was intentional by Chen Shang. Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were both severely injured by the killing array attack, but he did not dare to let his guard down, and did not immediately release the Son of Heaven and the Heavenly Girl. Don't kill her, you promised. Ji Meixian saw that Zhao Yiprofound was almost at his limit and anxiously said. At this moment, Zhao Yiprofound was lying on the ground like a pile of mud. He did not immediately scream. He had already been struck by the terrifying lightning released by the killing array, causing him to faint. Although these delicate and beautiful heavenly sons had gone through many experiences, this was the first time they had suffered such a great loss. Facing the humiliation and pain, fainting away was a very good thing for them. I know, but you should know the strength of these two. I can't stop right now, so I need to make sure they don't have the strength to fight back. Chen Shang was extremely cautious. Both of them were favored by the heavens, and might even have powerful treasures on them. He had already told Long Shui to check the dantian of these two people. He wanted to make sure that these two people could no longer use the energy in their bodies. Ji Meixian's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Zhao Yiprofound. His eyes could kill, but Zhao Yiprofound had already been dismembered into a million pieces. You really do hate her, just like how you hated me before. Chen Shang laughed out loud, sitting on the ground and looking at the two charred people on the ground. HMPH, you don't know how many times this slut slapped me. Once she comes down, the entire White Sea Imperial land will be in her hands. I'm not even comparable to a dog in her eyes, she'll slap my face whenever she wants. The more Ji Meixian spoke, the angrier he got. His chest bullied fiercely, he wanted nothing more than to charge forward for his revenge. No wonder you resent me so much, I am already very angry listening to you, you actually dared to hit my little maid like that. Chen Zhang's brows knitted, and then, in an extremely gentle manner, he caressed Ji Meixian's beautiful face. Even I am not willing to hit her, but this woman has hit me many times. Quote. If I want to completely cripple them, I have to take out their heaven pill. Ji Meixian said. Heaven pill. Chen Shang had merged with a Kaomu Heavenly Dan before, he never thought that there would be such a thing in a human's body. After overcoming the 9th tribulation, fly to the heaven realm. After flying, absorb a large amount of immortal energy and condense the innate chi in your body into a pellet. All immortals have such a thing, but once a person dies, the heavenly pill will quickly dissipate. Ji Meixian said. The heavenly cores in their bodies are still very strong, they are not damaged at all. It is just that their bodies are not strong enough. Long Shui said. Their souls are also very strong, they have powerful treasures on them that protect their souls. Of course, as long as the soul and heavenly pill are still there, it's equivalent to being alive. As long as the medicinal pill is there, the fleshly body can be reconstructed. Ji Meixian shook his head. It seems like this killing array will be very difficult to harm their heaven pills, their souls and heaven pills have powerful immortal treasures to protect them. Wouldn't it be fine if we just take out their heavenly pills? Chen Shang said. No, you have seen the Kaomu Heavenly Dan before, their souls are inside the heavenly core. As long as you stop this killing array, their heavenly core will jump out and run away. The power contained in their heaven pills is much stronger than Kaomu Heavenly Dan's, if they were to run out, it would be difficult to catch them. Ji Meixian said. Chen Shang suddenly thought of his own situation in the future. He had 5 beast statue and a set of Taiji Yin and Yang map in his dantian. Would he be able to condense a heaven pill? They didn't faint. Chen Shang took a few steps forward and looked at Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound. Their consciousness is still there. We can hear the sounds coming from the outside. It's just that their physical bodies are no longer sufficient. Ji Meixian replied. Chen Shang touched his chin, and laughed, so that means that all of the heaven pills are driven by their souls. Ji Meixian nodded, she suddenly guessed what Chen Shang was trying to catch. It is very difficult to kill them, especially now that they are on guard. If you do not kill them when they are not paying attention, you can shatter their heavenly cores with a single slash. Ji Meixian said, but you just need to control their souls. Chen Shang wanted to use the soul-absorbing devil spell to control the soul inside the heaven pellet. Devour that man's soul, then temporarily keep the heavenly Dan. That is a pure power. Bai Yu said. When Chen Shang used the soul-absorbing devil spell, he did so more than 10 feet away from him. Moreover, he even needed to cooperate with the devouring magic Kung Fu to penetrate the killing array and devour Feng Ziprofound's soul. In order to not be disturbed, Chen Shang displayed these 2 devilish arts to the fullest and devoured Feng Ziprofound's soul through the air. It seems my soul has grown a lot stronger this time. Chen Shang was feeling excited in his heart. He could feel Feng Ziprofound's powerful soul, and he could also hear Feng Ziprofound cursing at him. Feng Ziprofound's soul was currently resisting the soul attack from the killing array, and now that Chen Shang had seized the opportunity to enter, he could easily erase Feng Ziprofound's consciousness. After that, he would extract his soul and absorb it into his sea of consciousness, allowing his soul to handle the situation. Settle 1. I didn't expect this killing formation to have soul attacks as well. Chen Shang laughed and then began his attack on Zhao Yiprofound. Chapter 905. Feng Ziprofound was finished, but he still had a sky pill that contained a huge amount of energy. Feng Ziprofound was finished, but he still had a sky pill that contained a huge amount of energy. Now it was Zhao Yiprofound's turn. Chen Shang had promised Ji Meixian that he would leave this woman to her, so he couldn't devour Zhao Yiprofound. At that time, Ji Meixian would take revenge on an unconscious body, and he would definitely not be able to vent his hatred. However, he could seal Zhao Yiprofound's heaven pellet, and as long as he was unable to use the heaven pellet, he would not be able to drill into the ground like the Kaomu heavenly Dan. As long as I seal her heavenly Dan, I can stop the killing array and get her out. A golden light shot out from between Chen Zhang's brows and released its mana. It used its mana to engrave a restriction on Zhao Yiprofound's heaven pellet, imprisoning the power of her heaven pellet. Ji Meixian clenched her jade fists tightly, waiting for the moment she would take her revenge. Chen Shang, you despicable person, what are you doing? This was Zhao Yiprofound's soul screaming. Chen Shang laughed coldly, despicable person. Aren't you despicable? That Kaomu heavenly Dan was obviously stolen by me, but you guys wanted to kill me and snatch it away. If it wasn't for that matter, we would have already been sent to the other Lion Mountain and might have already left already. Quote. He started to use his Fa Li to carve a few spirit grain on the shiny blue heaven pellet. This was a spirit grain that could seal the power inside the heaven pellet. This Zhao Yiprofound was indeed not simple. He already had a blue-colored ice spirit in his body, and a yin meridians, an expert who used the icy cold power. Chen Shang took 6 hours to successfully seal the power of Zhao Yiprofound's heavenly pellet, but it would not last long, and would only last for 3 days at most. If Zhao Yiprofound's body recovered, she could break the seal faster. Chen Shang grabbed onto Feng Ziprofound, and Ji Meixian walked out of the killing array. Zhao Yiprofound's entire body was wounded, but after leaving the killing array, the sky and earth aura had surged into her body, nourishing her wounds. Chen Shang summoned his green dragon demon slaying broadsword and turned it into a small dagger. He slashed open Feng Ziprofound's abdomen and removed a white pearl that was as big as an egg. When Zhao Yiprofound and Ji Meixian saw this scene, they felt weird, especially Zhao Yiprofound. If her heaven pellet was taken out, then her cultivation would be crippled. This is the heaven pill. The energy inside is really terrifying. Chen Shang sighed. My junior sister and I have already suffered damage to our heaven pills, and the damage to our dantian is very serious. If we want to recover, we must first restore our dantian, and then allow the heaven pills to be reborn. Bai Yu said. The heaven pill was the source of power for those immortals. If it was taken away, it would be equivalent to a cripple with a powerful fleshly body. Slut. Ji Meixian slapped Zhao Yiprofound hard. Although Zhao Yiprofound had been struck by lightning, she was a woman after all, and had to protect her beautiful face at all costs. And this made Ji Meixian feel really good about it. Pa pa pa. Ji Meixian's left and right hands rotated, and did not listen to any slaps on Zhao Yiprofound's face, but Zhao Yiprofound's body was still considered strong, and after getting hit so crazily by Ji Meixian, he could actually only become slightly red. Of course, Ji Meixian never planned to smash that beautiful face to pieces, otherwise she wouldn't be able to do so in the future. Zhao Yiprofound was currently grinding his teeth, his eyes filled with hatred. Ji Meixian had not been able to hurt her, but this was worse than being cut on her body. As expected of the great heaven lady, her recovery is really fast. Ji Meixian's face was gloomy and ruthless, as he ridiculed and slapped Zhao Yiprofound's face. You traitor! You are the traitor, your entire family is a traitor. If it wasn't for the way you treated me before, I would have definitely given you a quick death today. But I've decided that I won't let you die so easily. Ji Meixian was so angry that she stomped her foot on Zhao Yiprofound's jade face, causing him to feel incomparably humiliated. Chen Shang searched Feng Ziprofound's body. He wanted to see what kind of treasures Feng Ziprofound had on him, but he only obtained a storage ring in the end. Beauty, what are you going to do with her? My seal can't seal her for too long. She'll probably recover in a day or two, Chen Shang said. Ji Meixian's expression turned cold, and said, I want her to become my female slave. With that, she stripped off Zhao Yiprofound's tattered clothes, revealing the scarred jade body. Chen Shang whistled. Although Zhao Yiprofound's entire body was wounded, but right now, he looked especially beautiful. The wounds on her body did not seem out of place. Her haggard face was filled with humiliation and anger, her eyes glimmering with tears. Ji Meixian took out an image crystal, recording the process of Zhao Yiprofound being ravaged by her. After Zhao Yiprofound found out that it was the image crystal, she was so angry that she almost vomited blood. She couldn't move right now, she could only let Ji Meixian do as he pleased. If you say another word, I'll smash your mouth. Ji Meixian punched Zhao Yiprofound in the face. Chen Shang stroked his chin and laughed. This little maid has my demeanor, now you want to take me in as a female slave too. Then isn't this Zhao Yiprofound my little maid? Interesting. Ha ha. Ji Meixian was so angry now that even Chen Shang felt scared, but after thinking about it, it was understandable. Previously, she was taken in as a female slave by Chen Shang, and later, she was mistreated and beaten up by Zhao Yiprofound. She had endured for so long, but now that she had a chance to vent it, she naturally had to be happy. Little bitch, do you think that I, Ji Meixian, am truly a mere mortal? When I was an almighty being in the heaven realm, your 18 generations of ancestors were not even born yet. If you try to bully me for a while, I will slave you for the rest of your life and obediently release the master-servant contract, or else I will paint your little face. Ji Meixian said coldly. Zhao Yiprofound was also very stubborn. Although she was filled with humiliation and fury after being trampled on by Ji Meixian a while ago, she had not given in. All of a sudden, she laughed crazily, PFF'd, with your lowly strength, don't think you can ruin my appearance. Ji Meixian patted Zhao Yiprofound's face and laughed coldly, looks like this face is your weakness. It seems like this face is even more precious than your life. As she spoke, her jade-like hand slid down Zhao Yiprofound's chest, causing him to stare blankly. It was his first time seeing a woman molest a woman. Zhao Yiprofound raised her head high, the wounds on her body were slowly being healed, the spirit energy in the surroundings quickly flowed into her body. Although she did not have any bloodline, but being able to do so was already quite shocking. Lend me the green dragon demon slain broadsword. Ji Meixian looked at Chen Shang, and stretched out her jade hand. Chen Shang threw the divine blade in his hand that looked like a dagger into Ji Meixian's hands. Now, he allowed Ji Meixian to use it, so Ji Meixian could hold it in his hands. Ji Meixian held the mini version of the divine blade, and used the back of the blade to slowly stroke Zhao Yiprofound's face. Feeling the power inside the divine blade, her body trembled, as though the blade could cut through her face like tofu. Indeed, you cherish this face of yours and have even used some powerful divine objects to temper it. My current power cannot be used, but you should know the power of this blade very well. Ji Meixian pursed her lips, her tone was extremely sinister and scary. Chapter 906. The first time Chen Shang had met her, she used a multicolored light to cover her face. She felt that her clean and pure body was not something that could be seen by these mortals, but now, her body was completely exposed to the man she hated the most. Furthermore, she was being petted by a malicious woman. I think she cultivated a powerful godly technique to make her skin very thick, so much so that she could only be cut with a godly blade. Chen Shang laughed, his eyes sweeping across Zhao Yiprofound's curvaceous body, causing Zhao Yiprofound to want to dig it out and step on it. Although there were some scars on her body, it did not affect the view. Furthermore, it added some strange beauty to her body. Ji Meixian saw Zhao Yiprofound's stubborn face, and shouted, I'll count to 2, if you don't release master-servant contract, I'll slice your face 10 times. And then, I will announce your disfigured appearance to the heaven realm, as well as that image crystal that will also walk all over the heaven realm. Quote. 1. The sharp tip of the blade was already close to Zhao Yiprofound's face. She bit her lips tightly, and a ball of red light shot out from between her eyebrows, condensing into a vortex. She had no choice but to give in, and that way, she could live on, as long as she had the chance to turn back, or else not only would she die, her ugly state would spread throughout the entire heaven realm, which was even scarier than death. After Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound established the master-servant contract, they suddenly smiled gently. At this moment, the smile on her face bloomed like 100 flowers in full bloom, it was as warm and enchanting as the sun in the winter, completely different from the devilish look from before. Even Zhao Yiprofound was in a daze when he saw this. She had just realized that Ji Meixian was a beauty like her, she had only tortured him because she was jealous of Ji Meixian previously. Little Zhao, now you know what you should do, right? You must not think of disobeying me. Ji Meixian had changed into a set of snow-white long skirt, and it had even been changed in front of Chen Shang, which made him feel that the relationship between Chen Shang and Chen Shang was not ordinary. Chen Shang played with the little divine blade in his hand. His eyes were as bright as stars, unlike the thief from before. Zhao Yiprofound wore the snow-white long dress that Ji Meixian had given him, and with her head slightly lowered, she seemed very humble, even more like a female slave than. Furthermore, she didn't dare to think about revenge randomly. Otherwise, her head would be in great pain due to the backlash from the contract. Little maid, look at how dedicated he is. You never have the face of a female slave in front of me. Chen Shang curled his lips, playing with Feng Yiprofound's storage ring. Zhao Yiprofound was shocked. She had guessed at the relationship between Chen Shang and her. There were many different kinds of relationships between them, but they had never thought that Ji Meixian was actually Chen Zhang's female slave. Seeing the smile on Chen Zhang's face, Zhao Yiprofound was shocked. She suspected that Chen Shang forced Ji Meixian to become a female slave back then. We're all on the same side now, do whatever you want. Chen Shang laughed. He knew that Ji Meixian's anger had died down. With Zhao Yiprofound, the immortal female slave, controlling her, she would feel much better than Chen Shang. Ji Meixian snorted softly. Although she was still brooding over the fact that she had become a female slave, she did not hate Chen Shang that much now. At least, after Chen Shang accepted her, he did not make things difficult for her. Chen Shang took out a jade bottle and handed it over to Ji Meixian. Apply it on her wounds and let her quickly recover. The injuries caused by the lightning and fire from the killing array won't be healed that easily. Ji Meixian didn't say anything more. After taking them over, he immediately helped Zhao Yiprofound take off his clothes, and Chen Shang very consciously turned around, causing both Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound to softly snort. They silently cursed him in their hearts. Now that Zhao Yiprofound was Ji Meixian's female slave, he was very confident that he could help her undo the seal on the heaven pellet. However, she was still slightly injured, so in order to let her heal, Ji Meixian gave her a large bowl of blood. Chen Shang couldn't help but laugh. Last time when I took her in as my female slave, she also drank a large bottle of my blood, and now you also drink her blood to recover from your injuries. Ji Meixian's blood actually contained a very special kind of power that could quickly repair her body. However, what made it even more difficult for her to understand was that Ji Meixian possessed this blood, and would even need to drink Chen Zhang's blood to recover from his injuries. You really do love protecting your face. It feels so good to touch it. Chen Shang caressed Zhao Yiprofound's beautiful face lovingly, unwilling to let go of her hand. Zhao Yiprofound really wanted to flip out. Chen Shang was not her master, but he was her master. She could only lower her head and suppress the unhappiness in her heart. Don't be depressed, your master has a great background. She is the Yi Immortal fairy back then, and she has only just started cultivating. In the future, she will definitely shine again in the heaven realm. As long as you serve her well, she will not treat you unfairly. Chen Shang was extremely reluctant to retract his hand. He wanted to test the other parts of her body since it was truly easy to touch Zhao Yiprofound's jade face. Yi Immortal fairy, wasn't she dead? Is this true? Zhao Yiprofound looked at Ji Meixian in shock. Although the Yi Immortal fairy was a famous person many years ago, her reputation had not decreased at all. Do you dare to not believe it? Ji Meixian said coldly. After knowing that she was still very famous in the heaven realm, her body released waves of proud might. Ji Meixian said to Chen Shang, now that the White Sea Imperial Land is completely under your control, what do you plan to do with the White Sea Imperial Land? Zhao Yiprofound was the person in charge of the White Sea Imperial Land, but she had to listen to Ji Meixian, and Ji Meixian had to listen to Chen Shang. Firstly, do not attack Super Martial School. Secondly, you guys continue to pretend that you want to kill me. Third, you all have to continue staying in the White Sea Imperial Land and wait for my arrangements. Chen Shang said in a serious tone. According to the orders from above, I won't be staying down there for long. I'll need to return to the heaven realm soon. Zhao Yiprofound said. She had already boarded the bandit ship, and could only obey. Chen Shang thought for a while, then said, you can go, but before you go, you have to help the beautiful goddess consolidate her position. We will also be going to the heaven realm in the future, and who knows when you will come down here. Quote. We will talk about the future. Let's rest for a while longer. After adjusting our condition, we will head to the next Lion Mountain. Right now, Zhao Yiprofound was someone else's slave. She felt that the only thing that was good was that she wouldn't be trapped here. With her strength and position in the White Sea Imperial Land, it would be of great use to her. Chen Shang wouldn't let her die. Chapter 907. Right now, the one who was in the best mood was Ji Meixian. She had experienced the joy of being a master. Previously, Zhao Yiprofound had bullied her in every possible way, but now, she was taught to be obedient and became an obedient servant. Ji Meixian felt that this was the feeling of being able to rule the world in the heaven realm back then, and it felt even better. Back then, it was not easy for her to find a female slave like Zhao Yiprofound. Tell me about the heaven realm. Have you heard of Imperial Feather Race? Ji Meixian drank a type of immortal spring water that Zhao Yiprofound took out, giving her a very enjoyable taste. The first time Chen Shang tasted the immortal spring water that came from the heaven realm, he remembered it often. He asked Zhao Yiprofound for more and gave it to the 3 women in the ring often. Imperial Feather Race, this is a huge power in the heaven realm, although it has only appeared in the last 1,000 years, but it has existed for a long time. It was just very secretive before, and many people now do not know the details of this place, but we, the ancient powers, do know a little about it. Her heart was filled with suspicions. When Yuyi Immortal Fairy went missing, that Imperial Feather Race still hadn't appeared, but Ji Meixian still knew about it. Ji Meixian was a Yuyi Immortal Fairy, and even now, she was still very doubtful. Naturally, she did not dare to ask Ji Meixian about more detailed things. How much do you know about the Imperial Feather Race? Ji Meixian's expression was calm, but her heart was filled with hatred. Back then, it was the Imperial Feather Race that did this to her. Zhao Yiprofound said, the patriarch of the Imperial Feather Race is not a human, but a very powerful bird beast. We do not know what kind of bird beast it is exactly, and many of the strong warriors in the Imperial Feather Race are beast type. Furthermore, there are many large, middle-sized and small forces under the Imperial Feather Race that have been established by humans. In short, the Imperial Feather Race is one of the 10 big powers. Quote, the heaven realm was very big, and it was said that there were 9 heavens above the heaven realm, 10 regions of the lowest level above the heaven realm, and then 9 days. It was a very large, high-class world, with many powers above. It was definitely not weak. 10 powers. Ji Meixian frowned slightly. I never thought that heaven realm would become so fast. And Fire Divine Palace are all part of the top 10 powers. Zhao Yiprofound said again. The Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and the Fire Divine Palace were indeed very strong. Chen Shang was not too surprised. The Devil Suppressing Divine Palace was created by such a strange person like the Devil Suppressing Heavenly Venerable. The Fire Divine Palace had plundered fire soul everywhere for many years, using it to recruit or nurture a large number of high-level alchemists. Not only was it a force famous for its cultivating flames, it was also a large alchemy industry. Chen Shang had the Holy Devil Suppressing Seal in his hands, although this was something that the Hall Master of the Devil Suppressing Divine Palace must have. With the Holy Devil Suppressing Seal in his hands, he could learn the powerful techniques the Devil Suppressing Heavenly Venerable had passed down to him, and he could become a Hall Master. Have you heard of the Imperial Dragon Race? This was what Chen Shang asked on behalf of Long Shuiyi. Zhao Yiprofound shook his head. I've never heard of it, but there's a legend above heaven realm. There's a dragon valley above the 9th heaven. A group of very powerful dragons gather there. That is the Imperial Dragon Race's dragon nest. I never thought that these dragons would still be so low profile. They don't intend to control the 9 heavens and 10 earth. Ji Meixian said. Long Shuiyi muttered from within the hidden dragon ring, how can a bunch of cowards be able to achieve greatness? That group of foolish dragons are waiting for my unparalleled dragon emperor to come out. Without this emperor leading them, they are just a bunch of worms. Quote. Chen Shang took Feng Ziprofound's storage ring and sighed. The powerful brilliant sun dragon boat is inside. It's a pity that this storage ring has his spirit imprint. Looks like I won't be able to take it out. Zhao Yiprofound thoughtfully looked at the storage ring. If Ji Meixian didn't hate her too much, she might have suffered the same fate as Feng Ziprofound. Although she was now Ji Meixian's female slave, Ji Meixian did not take away her storage ring. Feng Ziprofound's position in the Feng clan is not low, and he is even younger than me. If he is given a little more time, he will surpass me sooner or later. The things inside his storage ring aren't simple at all. Zhao Yiprofound said. Little maid, don't provoke me anymore. Chen Shang sighed helplessly. Long Shuiyi said. Since you have devoured Feng Ziprofound's soul and also have Feng Ziprofound's heaven pellet, you might be able to retrieve something from the storage ring. Chen Zhang's eyes lit up, and quickly took out the heaven pellet. He planned to give it a try because he still had Feng Ziprofound's remaining soul force in his sea of consciousness. As long as he could imitate Feng Ziprofound's consciousness and open the storage ring would not self-destruct. Immortal pills. I want an immortal pill. Chen Shang was a little excited now. He laughed out loud and held the heaven pellet tightly, then absorbed the heaven pellet's energy and merged it with Feng Ziprofound's soul to form the divine vision. This spiritual sense was different from his own, so he had a high chance of retrieving the items within the storage ring. There are a lot of things. Give me a space of storage magic treasure, I'll move over first. Chen Shang said. Zhao Yiprofound hastily gave Chen Shang a storage ring. Chen Shang condensed even more of Feng Ziprofound's consciousness, and then transferred all of the items in Feng Ziprofound's storage ring to another one in one go. Haha, it's a success. Chen Shang laughed as he began to count what was inside. I don't think there will be any. Even in Heaven Realm, Heaven-level pills are very lacking, let alone immortal pills. Moreover, Feng Clan has not produced any immortal pills for many years. Zhao Yiprofound said. The brilliant sun dragon boat is not bad, but I can't use it. If I get discovered by the people from the Feng clan, it will become troublesome. This is a celestial item. Chen Shang looked at the shrunk golden radiant sun dragon boat in his hand. Just like what Zhao Yiprofound had said, Chen Shang couldn't find any immortal pills. There were only 10 eternal dans, other than some random treasures, and also 2 fist-sized pure white stones. Chen Shang didn't know what they were, but these 2 stones contained a very rich and pure immortal energy. What is this? Chen Shang took out the 2 stones. Celestial jades are more precious than top-quality spiritual crystal. Zhao Yiprofound said. Only 2. Chen Shang curled his lips. There is already 1 jin of celestial jade here. If you want to exchange it for a top-quality spiritual crystal, you can get at least 50,000. It's not a small amount. Zhao Yiprofound said softly. She did not have her previous domineering look. After all, she was already someone else's female slave, because she did not dare to casually go against her master's fear of contracting power. Chen Shang had previously killed a fellow from the heavens, and obtained 10,000 spiritual crystal. Do the Heaven Realms use spiritual crystal to buy things? Chen Shang asked curiously. A large auction house uses celestial jades, most of them use spiritual crystal. Ji Meixian replied. Chapter 908. Chen Shang wanted to go to the Heaven Realm right now, but he was still far from the 9th tribulation. It seems like I can only take the brilliant sun dragon boat to the Heaven Realm for auction. Chen Shang kept the things carefully. Let's go, I think we're close to the Emperor's tomb. Zhao Yiprofound's expression changed. Emperor's tomb? You want to go to Emperor's tomb? No, that place is very dangerous. The seniors of the Sheng domain have warned us that a change has happened in the Emperor's tomb. Unless he's very strong. Quote. We'll talk about it when we get there. Everything will be fine. Chen Shang caressed Zhao Yiprofound's face and laughed. Since we're already here, can I not go and take a look? Zhao Yiprofound's face was serious. She stared at Chen Shang and said, you only have ground killing. If you want to obtain the complete heaven-earth killing method, you have to enter the Emperor's tomb, right? Chen Shang nodded. How do you know? There's more than just one tablet that records the heaven-earth killing method, and you weren't the only one who learned it over the years. There was an ancestor who learned it in the White Sea Imperial Land, and when they finally found this place, he was able to come out and meet the Emperor's tomb as well, but he said at that time that it was a trap, and that it required something else and a lot of power to open up the Emperor's tomb. Only the heaven-earth killing method wasn't enough. Zhao Yiprofound. If there is anything else that you need, then that senior will not know either. Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Chen Shang took out his divine blade. I'm not sure. Even if it is, it requires a very strong ability. Zhao Yiprofound didn't want to go to the Emperor's tomb. She was truly worried that they would die there. Seeing that Chen Shang was determined to go, Zhao Yiprofound sighed. According to our investigations, over 10,000 times in the past few years, the stone tablet that records the heaven-earth killing method have appeared. It's just that, in the past 10,000 years, there hasn't been any news about it, so when the news of you possessing the heaven-earth killing method spread, many powers took action because they felt that the Emperor's tomb would become weaker. More than 10,000 times. Su Meiyao exclaimed. Su Meiyao and the others also felt that this was inconceivable, and it was obvious that this had some sort of purpose. Zhao Yiprofound nodded his head. But there are only about 100 or so people who have learned the ground killing, and all of them have managed to come to these Lion Mountain, and brought a large group of people to explore them. The only person who might be able to return is the senior of our White Sea Imperial Land. Don't worry, I won't die. Chen Shang did not care about all this. Since he was already here, even if he could not enter the Emperor's tomb, he had to stay and watch from the outside. He brought the 2 girls inside a transmission array. This was a transmission array that could be teleported to a safe Lion Mountain. Only those who were familiar with the inscriptions could open it. After triggering the transmission array, the spirit energy in the Lion Mountain surged over crazily. Chen Shang and the 2 girls saw a white light flash before their eyes and they left the Lion Mountain. This is not Lion Mountain. Chen Shang looked around at the desolate scene and could not help but shout out. It was as if they had arrived at a barren wasteland. The desolate mountain continued for several miles, and there were 3 bright suns hanging in the sky. The most terrifying thing was that there was not even the slightest bit of spiritual energy here. We are close to the Emperor's tomb. In the end, those Lion Mountain only came here to deceive people, and only by using some transmission arrays inside could they come here. Emperor's tomb should be hiding here. Zhao Yiprofound frowned, looking around cautiously. Could this be the super old sacred land? Chen Shang could not help but think of that terrifying place. The transmission array above the Lion Mountain was only a one-way transmission array. Ji Meixian said, "It seems that as long as we step into the Lion Mountain, there will be no turning back if we continue onward. No matter what, we will eventually reach this place." There was a big battle here, and it was between Heaven Realm's experts. Zhao Yiprofound looked at the broken gigantic mountain behind him. "Hurry up and look for it. See if there are any of those stone tablets." Chen Shang panicked and immediately released his divine sense, activating Heaven Tour method. His spiritual sense floated high in the sky as he looked around. Soon, he saw a green area in the distance, and what made him excited was that there was a gigantic lion mountain on that green area. "I found a lion mountain. Let's hurry and take a look. That might be 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord's tomb," Chen Shang said excitedly. "Quick, take out your jade house." Zhao Yiprofound shook his head. "There is no spiritual energy here, using the Immortal house will consume a lot of my energy." "Then let's walk," Chen Shang sighed in disappointment. Zhao Yiprofound was the main fighter, so he definitely wouldn't let her be too tired. The 3 of them ran towards the Lion Mountain. Just as they ran for 100 miles, Long Shui and Ji Meixian shouted at the same time, "There's someone here. Someone is nearby." Ji Meixian's face was full of vigilance. "It's a group of people, about 50 or 60 years old. You guys just have to protect yourselves. Leave the rest to little girl Zhao." Long Shui whispered to Chen Shang and Ji Meixian. "If you don't want to die, then get the hell out of here right now." Shouted coldly. Right now, she only had her previous imposing manner, she did not need to be subservient to others. Her cold voice shook the barren mountain, causing many small stones to roll down. The originally hot wasteland also became a bit colder. "Haha, as expected of someone who is able to come here. He is indeed extraordinary," a short old man, dressed in tattered clothes, said with a smile as he flew over from behind a huge rock. Soon after, many other disheveled-haired, ragged-clothed people appeared. These people looked to be middle-aged people, some were men and some were women, but they were not weak either. Chen Shang could even see that some of them were immortals. There were 60 of them in this group. They looked very destitute, like refugees. Their eyes were like that of hungry wolves as they stared at Chen Shang and the other 2, especially the white-haired old women. They looked at Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound, the 2 young and beautiful women with incomparably envious eyes. HMPH, in a place like this where there is no spiritual chi of heaven and earth, you will become like us sooner or later. An old woman said coldly. Chen Shang curled his lips. He had a large amount of spirit medicine in his Yuyao ring, and he also had the face-preserving pill, Beauty Dan, longevity pill and longevity fruit. He would definitely not let Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound, these 2 beautiful girls, age. "Who are you people?" When Zhao Yiprofound saw the short old man walking over, he shouted harshly again. The blue ice-cold mist that was used on his body prevented the old man from approaching him again. "Whoever dares to take a step closer, I'll kill you." Zhao Yiprofound's voice was ice-cold and filled with killing intent. Following that, the blue ice on her body surged in all directions, intimidating those who had ill intentions. Zhao Yiprofound was worried that this group of people would get too close so that they wouldn't be able to protect Chen Shang and Ji Meixian. "Little miss, don't be angry. We are the same as you all, we are here to look for the Emperor's tomb, but in the end, we were trapped here. This place isn't as safe as you think," the old man said while smiling. Chen Shang could even see his eyes, but he felt that this old man was not a good person. Chapter 909. These old men in front of them, no matter how they looked at it, did not look like good people. Instead, they looked like a pack of old wolves that had starved for a long time. This made Chen Shang and the others even more vigilant. Zhao Yiprofound's strength caused this group of old fellows to be wary and not dare to move recklessly. They also knew that for the 3 youths in front of them to be able to come here, their strength must be pretty good. "We are only inviting you all to join. With more people, you have more power, so you all might not be clear about the situation here. I can tell you now, there are many teams like us here, but they are all very sinister, so if you fall into their hands, the consequences will be unthinkable. The old man continued. Long Shui muttered. This old man is not lying to you all, there are already a few people rushing over. Ji Meixian also noticed it and quickly transmitted his voice to Zhao Yiprofound. Very quickly, Chen Shang and the other two were surrounded by the 5 groups of people. These people looked very old, only a few middle-aged men. Dwarf, I heard what you said from afar. What do you mean? Are you saying that we are not good people? A middle-aged man shouted at the old man. Chen Shang thought, you are all not good people. You guys came really fast. Alright, let's put it this way now. Since everyone has a part here, let's take them down together and split it equally. The short elder laughed. Zhao Yiprofound frowned slightly. She circulated the blue ice energy within her body and prepared to go all out, but she was extremely worried about Chen Shang and Ji Meixian. Out of the 300 people, 5 of them were on par with her. Little fellows, you should obediently hand over your things. Otherwise, we will eat you. An old woman sneered. Can you beat him? Ji Meixian knew that they were in a very dangerous situation. It's very difficult. If I were to make a move, there would be around 10 people holding me back. Zhao Yiprofound said. The 2 girls couldn't help but look at Chen Shang at this time, but Chen Shang was still calm and composed, not the least bit worried. Master, do you have any ideas? Zhao Yiprofound asked. I am the leader, from now on don't call me master, call me leader. Chen Shang smiled slightly, of course I have a way. Dragon subduing school. Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound were immediately filled with suspicion. I will tell you about the matters of the dragon subduing school in the future. I want to keep you guys in my ring right now, so don't resist me. Chen Shang said. Ji Meixian knew that Bai Yuyu, Su Meiyao and a white dragon were hidden inside the ring. She was curious about what was inside. Zhao Yiprofound and Ji Meixian's body shone with a white light, and then, they disappeared. Kept them in her ring, and they appeared in a courtyard inside the white jade Immortal Palace. Brat, you actually have such powerful storage magic treasure, quickly hand them over. A tall old man roared, his eyes bloodshot. Chen Shang guessed that these people had been here for a long time. Because there was no spirit chi here, they had used up all their things. I only have 1 nature fruit, you guys can take it based on your own abilities. Chen Shang used all his strength and threw the nature fruit high. Nature fruits were heaven-level fruits, they contained a large amount of spirit energy. In the eyes of this group of people, they were just like a treasure. A group of people jumped out one after another to snatch the nature fruit. A portion of them rushed towards Chen Shang, who then released a white mist, while he himself turned into a small stone, and was kicked to the side by someone who rushed in. Just like that, he disappeared in front of this group of people, while those who had the strength to snatch the nature fruit, ended up in the hands of the short elder. Chen Shang laughed loudly in his heart. That was not a real nature fruit, it was something he turned into using a piece of stone. However, this made the short old man be attacked by a few rankers, and the people on their side also found an attack. Just like that, Chen Shang, who had turned into a small stone, rolled away in the chaos of battle. Bastard, stop hitting, this nature fruit is fake. But no one believed him. He had lost an arm. If you don't believe me, I'll search your bodies. This is all I have. The short old ghost was surrounded by the 3 rankers. If this carried on, even if there was a real nature fruit, he would not live to enjoy it. The experts immediately stopped and looked at the stone that was smeared with the nature fruit juice. The injured people all had furious expressions. It's a deceptive trick. It's said that only people that cultivate the soul can use divine powers to sow discord and make us fight fiercely. We were fooled by that brat. A middle-aged man shouted in anger. Carry the dead back and divide them. The short elder took a deep breath, his expression extremely ugly. Chen Shang did not move from his spot, he had to wait for these to leave. They purposely guarded the road, purposely waiting for people to enter, and as long as they passed by, they would snatch them away. Inside the ring, Zhao Yiprofound looked at Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao, 2 girls whose beauty made her jealous. She wasn't clear about their identities, but from the auras they emitted, she could tell that the woman in front of her, who could make even her heart palpitate, was extraordinary. I am the Dragon Subduing School's Elder Long. My name is the Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, shouldn't you greet me when you see me? Long Shui, who was rolling and playing on the ground, suddenly stood up, his hands on his waist. Don't believe her. Ji Meixian snorted lightly. It's boring, it pierced me in an instant. Long Shui continued to hug a large fruit as he sat on the ground and chewed it, while speaking. I am really an elder of the dragon subduing school and that little scoundrel is the leader. However, the dragon subduing school is not completely formed yet and only has a few members. If you behave a little, I will let that little scoundrel be your elder or something. Don't underestimate dragon subduing school. Under the leadership of my heavenly dragon supreme lord, you all will learn many supreme dragon martial arts, and before long, you all will be able to sweep through the 9 heavens and 10 earth. That imperial avian race of yours is nothing at all. You are. Zhao Yiprofound asked carefully. Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao's attitude made her more reserved. I am Su Meiyao, this is my senior sister Bai Yuyu, have you ever heard of her? Su Meiyao smiled charmingly and slowly walked to stand in front of Zhao Yiprofound. Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao. Hearing the names of these two people, Zhao Yiprofound immediately took a few steps back, his face filled with fear. You really are, ruthless devil Venerable's disciple? Zhao Yiprofound asked with a trembling voice. What is it, are we still very famous? Bai Yuyu asked coldly, that kind of cold gaze made Zhao Yiprofound feel chills down his spine. What are you afraid of? I have hunted them down for many years. Ji Meixian patted Zhao Yiprofound's shoulder. Chapter 910. Chen Shang waited until night before he slowly moved, leaving the valley where many people were hiding. He did not know that Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were interrogating Zhao Yiprofound about a lot of things, which were all related to the ruthless devil Venerable. After passing through the gorge, just as Chen Shang was about to step onto a plane, he was sent flying by a powerful force. The Lion Mountain was not far ahead, as long as he passed through these plains, he would be able to reach it. This wasteland has been sealed by some strange power. Chen Shang punched out, striking the invisible seal in front of him, but no sound at all. He had used his dragon power. No wonder those old fellows are trapped here. Chen Shang now understood why there were so many strong and powerful people here, and why they looked very old. Let's go, those people will definitely guess that you will come here. Perhaps, they might have already rushed over by now. Long Shui said. How are those two little made inside? Chen Shang smashed his fist a few times, his powerful energy had been completely swallowed by the seal. It was extremely difficult to step foot onto the grassland, so he could only hide and think of a way. I was secretly chatting with my two sisters. They wanted me to keep it a secret. Long Shui said. Chen Shang shrugged his shoulders, and rushed towards a barren mountain in the distance. He felt that there should be a stone tablet or something here, if he could see the stone inscriptions, maybe he would have a way to leave this place. This wasteland didn't have any plants or spiritual energy. However, at night time, one could see bright stars that could absorb some of the star power and moon essence to cultivate. However, there was no one who specialized in it, so the rate of absorption was very slow. Chen Shang did not have such an ability, but the rate at which he absorbed it was extremely fast, because he had assimilated with a Kaomu heavenly Dan. Flowers, plants and trees were originally nurtured by the heaven and earth. They were nourished by the earth, absorbed the energy of the stars, and absorbed the essence of the sun and moon in order to grow. In a situation where he was completely devoid of spirit energy, he still quickly absorbed the energy of heaven and earth to cultivate. He had already started to gradually understand the benefits of Kaomu Heavenly Dan-S, and understood why Zhao Yiprofound and Feng Ziprofound were fighting over them. He looked at the stars in the sky and frowned. I understand, this wasteland is just a lion mountain, it's just that there's a very powerful illusion array here. That grassland, that lion mountain was actually just an illusion. As long as I can find that stone tablet, I can leave that place. Quote. According to what you have said, not only is there an illusory magic array, there is also a spatial array. This place is too big, it's possible to fit 10,000 Lion Mountain here. Long Shui said. That's right, there really is a spatial formation. The reason for doing this might be to trap them here, and then through comprehending the ground killing, find the stone tablet that's hidden here. Although this place was barren of life, and gave off a deathly aura, Chen Shang still felt a tiny bit of vitality. This was the miraculous feeling he had after learning the ground killing, and the special feeling he had towards the earth. Chen Shang thought of something, but was unable to grasp the center. He paced around anxiously, trying to think. He felt that this place that was different from the other Lion Mountain must be hiding something. There's a very strong illusion array here, and it's much stronger than the one I met in super old sacred land before. Moreover, there's even a spatial array inside, making people think that it's very big. There are usually 3 kinds of magic arrays. The lowest is to deceive a person's eyes, and then it is to deceive their 5 senses. The final is the highest as the trick of a person's soul, imprinting these illusions in the depths of their soul, making it hard for them to see through. After a long time, everything they see will completely take root in their soul. No matter where they go, everything will be exactly the same as here. Chen Zhang's heart was thumping hard. No doubt the illusion array he was in was the last one. He could not stay here for too long, if not he would not be able to get rid of the seed of the illusion in the depths of his soul. This Lion Mountain tests one's consciousness, and is able to see through the illusion formation. If I am not mistaken, there should be a portion of the heaven-earth killing method, the God-slain method. Chen Shang firmly believed that it was true. What he needed to do now was to raise his spiritual sense and comprehend the ground killing. With the combination of the two, he would be able to find the hidden monolith, read the monolith inscriptions, and find the God-slain method. All of this is fake. This is a Lion Mountain. There are large trees all around. The stone tablet must be inside the Lion Mountain. It looks like the first thing I need to do is to get rid of this illusion formation. He wouldn't be so stupid as to look for the Lion Mountain's monument in this unreal world. If he really looked for the monument here, before he found it, he would have already fallen into an illusion array. Chen Shang closed his eyes, no longer wanting to be fooled by these fake rumors. He sat on top of a barren mountain and felt that he should be inside a tree. Previously, he had devoured Feng Ziprofound's soul, but now that he wanted to raise his spiritual sense, he could only devour Feng Ziprofound's soul and strengthen his own soul. The 9-turn dragon god mantra slowly revolved, and the divine soul in his sea of consciousness also sat cross-legged on a golden ocean just like himself. Feng Ziprofound's soul merged with the golden sea and was refined, allowing the divine soul to slowly absorb it. As long as you completely refine Feng Ziprofound's soul, your divine soul will enter a perfect stage. The perfect stage was the peak of the first major stage of soul cultivation. Once you cross that step, you will be able to reach perfection. At that time, you will be able to use the power of the divine arts and unleash even stronger and faster abilities. Long Shui said. Perfection. How many stages are there in total for spirit cultivation? Chen Shang asked. The first great stage is to refine the mind, and that is to advance from the soul of the divine way to perfection. The second stage is to reach perfection. This stage is more than enough for you to cultivate. Long Shui said. There is no peak in cultivation, you can go far. You will know in the future. Chen Shang absorbed the sun, moon and stars one day ago and refined Feng Ziprofound's soul within his sea of consciousness. At this moment, he felt that his divine soul was becoming stronger and stronger, making him feel that he could use divine soul leave the body, and let his divine soul leave the body, floating between heaven and earth. However, he did not do so because it was too dangerous. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Chen Shang sat on top of the mountain, and while absorbing the sun and moon's essence, his movements were not small. In Chen Zhang's sea of consciousness, the divine soul glimmered with golden light and looked extremely powerful. What surprised him was that as his divine soul grew stronger, he discovered that the innate qi in his body had risen by a lot and its quality had become even higher. A perfect realm of the soul, amazing indeed. Chen Shang opened his eyes and saw that the surrounding wasteland had disappeared. He had gotten rid of this illusion formation. Chapter 911. This place was indeed a Lion Mountain. He could clearly see that there were many runes on the ground and the place he was at was a large formation formed by many trees. As long as they were transferred from other Lion Mountain, they would arrive at this place and be trapped. Not only was he able to see through the illusion array, his surroundings were incomparably clear as well. The reason why Long Shui was able to see the changes that occurred in the surrounding grass and trees was because her soul had reached a superb state. Chen Shang now understood why cultivating the ground killing was so difficult. It turned out that his spiritual sense was still too weak. This heaven-earth killing method was indeed not simple. His previous spiritual sense was already very strong compared to other people's, but learning the ground killing was still very difficult. Now, he could clearly feel the subtle changes in the ground, allowing him to become more familiar with the ground. The many difficulties within the ground killing were easily solved, and he managed to raise his ground killing to another level. Chen Shang walked a few steps and suddenly saw a group of people appear. All of them were currently inside the illusion formation, and with just a few steps, Chen Shang felt like he was traversing 1,000 miles through the world inside the illusion formation. The short old ghost saw that Chen Shang had suddenly appeared in their territory, causing him to be surprised. Chen Shang was not afraid in the slightest. He shook his head and laughed. I have already escaped from the illusion formation. However, you guys are already too late. You will never be able to leave this illusion array. Quote. The short elder looked like he had been stabbed by a blade. He was immediately enraged. He summoned out a long sword and thrusted it towards Chen Shang. Chen Shang only took a few steps forward and he was already far away from the array. In front of the short elder and the others, it was as if he had suddenly disappeared. Shrinking step. They were not ordinary people, and all of them had vast amounts of experience and knowledge, but this kind of shrinking step was only a legend, and Chen Shang actually learned it. With just a few steps, he crossed a large distance. This was the progress of the ground killing. Chen Shang had mastered it now. After leaving the magic array, Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound came out from the serene jade ring. Chen Shang didn't know what they were talking about with Su Meiyao inside, but he didn't ask. He guessed that it was Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao asking about their master. Are we going to find the emperor's tomb soon? Zhao Yiprofound asked, but she did not mention anything about the things inside the ring. No, the emperor's tomb is not inside the Lion Mountain. I don't even know where he is. In short, I won't be here anymore. Chen Shang shook his head. He seemed to be extremely mysterious and had the appearance of an expert. Why, if you aren't here, you can't walk safely through the ground killing. Ji Meixian did not understand. Chen Shang walked towards the Lion Mountain stone tablet. He could clearly feel the stone tablet. I had thought that the emperor's tomb was inside, but now I am wrong. This is only a place with God-slain method. If you want to enter the emperor's tomb, you have to find the heaven-earth killing method and cultivate until the fire breaks out. Chen Shang scratched his head with his finger and said, and just like what little girl Zhao had said, there is something I need to enter emperor's tomb for. It's not a green dragon demon slaying broadsword, but a very special thing. Oh, how did you suddenly know so much? Zhao Yiprofound now knew just how powerful Chen Shang was. In a situation where she and Ji Meixian were surrounded by a group of people, it would be difficult for them to even escape, but Chen Shang had easily resolved the situation. Chen Shang laughed. I am currently reading the inscriptions on the stone tablet. It seems that not only is the God-slain method hidden here, there is also a powerful. He was startled, and then pulled Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound, and after walking a few steps, Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound only saw the ground suddenly shrink, and they only took a few steps forward, and arrived in front of a stone tablet. The legendary shrinking step is really scary. It seems like no one can catch this guy in the future. Zhao Yiprofound exclaimed in his heart. If not for Chen Shang pulling them away, he would have left them in the dust a long time ago. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse to have formed a master-servant contract with him. Ji Meixian really wanted to learn the shrinking step, but she knew that even if Chen Shang was willing to teach her, it would be difficult. Chen Shang looked at the green monument carefully. He used his hand to gently caress the inscription on it, only to see the monument suddenly shrinking, becoming a palm-sized green jade tablet. This is the God-slain method. Chen Shang looked at the jade tablet with focus, and poured all of the killing intent accumulated in his body into the green jade tablet. A wave of murderous intent suddenly gushed out from the jade token, causing Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound to retreat a few steps in fear. They only saw that the green jade token had many finger-sized words flowing out, countless of ancient characters drilled into the center of Chen Zhang's brows. It looked extremely strange. It seems that even if we were given the God-slain method, we wouldn't be able to learn it. We don't have enough killing intent. Zhao Yiprofound said. Of course, if we were to accumulate such a degree of killing intent, we would probably lose our true names, but he didn't. If one day he can control this murderous intent, maybe he can. Ji Meixian did not continue. She felt that it was somewhat impossible. Becoming a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is not easy. Although it looks like he has a bright future ahead of him and has obtained the inheritance of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, it does not mean that he can become a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Zhao Yiprofound shook his head. After Chen Shang fused with the God-slain method, the corner of his mouth raised slightly. Using his consciousness to attack, this was the best way to trick others. He was not in a hurry to learn it. Even the heaven-earth killing method needed to be comprehended bit by bit, and time was not something that could be learned just because he wanted to. Leader, you said that you have another. What is that? Seeing Chen Zhang's smile, Ji Meixian could not help but feel goosebumps. That is a very powerful pill refining technique. The 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is really powerful, with a proficiency in everything, but his skills in pill refining have never reached the level that he expected. Chen Shang laughed. What kind of? Was created by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord? Su Meiyao asked anxiously. It's called the heavenly alchemy, using the heaven and earth as the furnace and the myriad of objects as the medicine. If that's the case, in short, it's very powerful. When I have time, I must try the kind of crazy pill cultivating techniques that were written above. Chen Zhang's face was full of excitement. The heavenly alchemy, even hearing its name, felt that it was powerful. Su Meiyao was really looking forward to see how powerful this art of alchemy was. So we're going back now. There are no other secrets in this Lion Mountain. Ji Meixian didn't dare believe it when he thought about how only this little thing was hidden within the countless Lion Mountain. Chen Shang said, "We do have good things, but only if we are alive. There are a lot of Lion Mountain-s that contain a large amount of mines, but those Lion Mountain-s are very dangerous. There are countless Lion Mountain-s here, and many of them have large amounts of resources, all of which were left here intentionally by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. As for his intentions, even I am unable to guess." Quote. Chapter 912. Chen Shang brought the two girls into a big array, and on the way there, they passed by an illusion formation. They could see a lot of people walking around, and their faces were full of vigilance, and even if Chen Shang pulled them out of the array, they would still not be able to get rid of it. The array had already been deeply imprinted in their souls, unless someone used their divine power to erase the imprints. This transmission array was able to be sent outside of the rough and random profound land. You all must have already made up lies to deceive the White Sea Imperial Land, right? Chen Shang stepped into the transmission array and asked Ji Meixian and Zhao Yi Profound. Don't worry about this, we will continue to stay in the White Sea Imperial Land and fight for the highest authority. Ji Meixian said. Chen Shang said, "Don't say that I was the one who killed Feng Zi Profound, or else they would have sent out stronger people. You guys better lie to them, that I'm in danger, and will most likely die in Lion Mountain." The two girls nodded their heads. Chen Shang activated transmission array, and then they appeared outside the rough and random profound land on a desolate grassland. This was the first time Chen Shang and Ji Meixian had crossed blows, and Ji Meixian had suffered a huge loss here. "Hee, you can leave now. We don't know when we'll meet again." Chen Shang gave two girls and one small gift. Those were two eternal Dan-s that could be used to protect their lives at a critical moment. These two slaves were very strong, and had boundless prospects, so Chen Shang naturally had to take care of them. "I will be meeting the heaven realm soon, and will not come down again in the future. Right now, it's only the 10th heaven rebirth and the space is weak, so we can come down easily. After this period of time, no one can come down," Zhao Yi Profound said. I will go to the heaven realm, at that time, I will need Master Heavenly Maiden to take care of me." Chen Shang laughed. With shrinking step, he had passed through a large mountain in the blink of an eye. When Chen Shang returned to the Green Summit City, he merged with his Kaomu Heavenly Dan. His concealing ability was extremely strong, and even Ji Meixian's spiritual sense could not detect him. Back then, when many immortals were teleported over, because the transmission array was destroyed by Chen Shang, those experts were like cabbages in the sky as they were randomly cut by the terrifying power of space. Even though many days had passed, he did not calm down. He was still the topic of discussion for many people. A young brat like him had killed so many experts, and he was an immortal at that. Even in the heaven realm, there would be a sensation. "I have been expelled from the super martial school, I can't return now. Those close to me must be watched closely by others. I should make a good show of myself in order to get rid of those people who are plotting against me." Quote. Chen Shang heard from within the city that the ancient powers were still going to chase after him and beat him up. What made him at a loss of whether to laugh or cry was that the old fellows from ancient wasteland devil sects group that had endured the Great Tribulation actually came down. They had all surpassed the Nirvana stage now and possessed extremely powerful strength, allowing the ancient wasteland devil sect to become strong once again. If it wasn't for me, this group of fellows wouldn't have ascended so easily. It's fine if they didn't thank me, but they actually wanted to seek revenge. Chen Shang thought in his heart, but then he thought that the tomb of the demon god's son must have been raided from top to bottom by Duan Sanchang, and the ancient wasteland devil sect might have believed that he was the one who did it. There was another matter that shook the entire South a while ago, and that was that the ancestral tombs of the ancestors of the Flying Immortal School had been stolen, and some of the tombs had even been taken to the auction house in Pill City. Chen Shang knew that it was definitely the Duan clan who did this. The Duan clan would definitely not be able to take it lying down if Duan Sanchang obtained a piece of immortal jade and was robbed away by the people from the Flying Immortal School. If you bully me, I'll dig your ancestors' graves. This was what Duan Sanchang had said before. Right now, the Flying Immortal School was hunting down the Duan clan members everywhere, but there were too few of them, and only a few of them. 3 days after Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound returned to the White Sea Imperial Land, the news had spread out. The great son of the Feng clan had died miserably among the Lion Mountain, and none of the people who went in with Feng Ziprofound had escaped. Chen Shang had been forced into a Lion Mountain that was filled with killing arrays, so he was most likely dead. This news made many people sigh. Chen Shang possessed the heaven-earth killing method and the green dragon demon slain broadsword, and now that he was dead, wouldn't these 2 items from the 10 heavens Supreme Lord be lost to him? After Chen Shang entered the rough and random profound land, he was chased and killed by the people of White Sea Imperial Land and Feng clan. Furthermore, there was no news of him for many days. No one dared to question Zhao Yiprofound's strength. Even though he appeared to be a charming woman, it was still possible for him to kill a little deity with a smack of his palm. Those immortals will be returning in a few days. Staying in this lousy place will affect their cultivation. One of the elders laughed. This world is ours. Chen Shang was in the tavern next to the tavern. When he heard this, he sneered in his heart. Those deities would return, but there were still many that would stay. That Chen Shang who caused so many things, is finally going to be at peace. The strongest powers in the 3 realms of the human-demon realm have agreed to negotiate peace, and there will be a 3 realms talk holding in a while. It seems that there will be a grand meeting to be held as well, and at that time, there will be many opportunities to get rich. A middle-aged man laughed sinisterly. Chen Shang also laughed. This fellow from the Flying Immortal School is really not a good person. Looks like I have somewhere to go. It's just a temporary negotiation. Human realm's strength is not weak. It's very difficult for the demon to attack. They are just worried that the human realm will attack them. If the demon uses the resources of the human realm to develop, there might be more that they can fight. Bai Yuyu said. She belonged to the demon world and she never believed in the character of the big powers in the demon world. Chen Shang laughed. That's good too. I have time to develop my dragon subduing school, and get used to it. As long as I can expand my dragon subduing school, any force that dares to provoke me, I will bring my dragon subduing school to the front and destroy them all. Then you have to find a very strong person to guard the mountain gate, such as me, this heavenly dragon emperor who serves as the great clan elder. Whoever comes to cause trouble, I will sweep her off her feet with my tail. Long Shui said. Sooner or later, I will lead dragon subduing school to slap the faces of those old dragons of imperial dragon race. Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, as long as you blow away that cowhide, even heaven and earth would be blown away by you. Why do you need to do it yourself? Chen Shang said. Chen Shang still didn't know where 3 realms talk was, but he guessed that it should be in the southeast region. There was a large piece of land connected to the demon and devil realms and it was still very close to Chen Martial continent. It should be in the east. There is also a big city there. We can go take a look now. If it really is the 3 realms talk, then it will be filled with powerful people. There will be a lot of powerful warriors. Chen Shang said. Chapter 913. The 3 realms talk had already obtained the truth, but the exact time had not been determined yet. The information Chen Shang had gathered was not very reliable. In the Devil Subduing College, many young students were sparring in the square. All kinds of noisy fighting sounds gathered together, creating a shocking scene, which made the whole school full of energy. Chen Shang came to the Devil Subduing College. He had an old friend here, who was the principal of the Devil Subduing College, Zuo Junxuan. If it wasn't for Chen Shang messing with the Devil Subduing College back then, that old man Zuo Junxuan would still be trapped in the dungeon, and the Devil Subduing College wouldn't have such a huge change. Kid, you're always sneaking around every time you come looking for me. When Zuo Junxuan returned to his own residence, he saw Chen Shang sitting in the pavilion in his courtyard. Although there were a lot of array formations arranged at the place he lived, Chen Shang still entered very easily. Although Zuo Junxuan had a head full of white hair, he still looked spirited. If his hair was dyed black, he would be a middle-aged man filled with the vitality of dragons and tigers. Old Zuo, have you passed the 9 nirvana tribulations? Chen Shang picked up the fruits on the table and started to eat them, treating this place as his own home. He's survived. It's a 9 out of 10 chance of survival. Zuo Junxuan recalled the danger he faced during the tribulation and felt a lingering fear. If you have something to ask me, just say it. Rumor has it that Chen Shang had already died in the Lion Mountain, and yet he was still sitting here full of energy, but Zuo Junxuan was not surprised at all. Previously, there were White Sea Imperial Land S and Feng Clan S, and a portion of the Peach Blossom Imperial Land S wanted to capture Chen Shang. This was because Chen Shang had killed their Son of Heaven, and that Son of Heaven's origins were not small. Furthermore, the chief of the Dan Alliance, Chen Shang, had killed his disciple. Other than that, there were also the Immortals who had died in the transmission array, or those who had been injured because of Chen Zhang's destruction of the transmission array. Chen Shang possessed the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword and Heaven-Earth Killing method, and had even used many precious Heaven Level S and Spirit medicines. Just with these, it already made people think of him, but he looked very relaxed now. I would like to inquire about the matters of the Three Realms talk. I would like to know the time and venue for the meeting. Chen Shang asked. As the principal of the Devil Subduing College, Zhuo Junxuan had learned the 10th floor of the Devil Subduing method. He was strong, the strongest person in the entire Devil Subduing College. Zhuo Junxuan was instantly shocked. You brat, you want to go and cause trouble? Nah, I just think that when the time comes, these guys will work together to plot against me. Chen Shang said. That's right, I also know a bit of the Three Realms talk's details. The Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword are too much of a threat to Demon Realm, and if you want peace, they would like for the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword to appear, or for the three parties to join hands to capture you, and seize the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword and seal you. Zhuo Junxuan nodded. Am I not dead? Why are they still thinking about this blade? Chen Shang curled his lips. There are many ancient powers in the Three Realms talk. They calculated this using some ancient methods and they know that you are not dead yet. Zhuo Junxuan said. Chen Zhang's face was filled with unhappiness. How can they be like this? My Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword never threatened them. On the contrary, they often threatened me, persecuted me, and even tried to stab themselves in the face of my blade. What does that have to do with me? Quote. Who doesn't know about this? But you need to know about the ways of these big powers. Everything they say is correct, everything they do is reasonable. Even if they do something that the heavens cannot accept, they would still call it acting on behalf of the heavens. It was not like Zhuo Junxuan had never been at such a disadvantage before. These bastards. Chen Shang clenched his fists. They will begin preparations for the Three Realms talk in half a year. Now, let's start a complete truce and call all the demons back. It will take them at least a year to truly start the Three Realms talk. On one hand, they have to catch you and find the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Quote. What if they can't find the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword? Chen Shang was very sure that they would not be able to find that group of people. As scheduled, however, they will sign an agreement that the three of them will join hands to capture you. Zhuo Junxuan said. Chen Shang took a big bite of the fruit, chewed for a bit, and said, then what Three Realms talk are they carrying out? Now we all know what's going on. Quote. Knowing the content of the talks does not mean that I will agree to those agreements. At the very least, I will not sign them. If you want my Devil Subduing College's students to capture you, that would simply be sending them to their deaths, and pissing you off. The Devil Subduing College might just get torn apart by you. It's not like you've been tormented by the Devil Subduing College twice before. Zhuo Junxuan laughed. When the time comes, there will be a grand gathering. When the time comes, you can go and cause a huge ruckus, but you must not underestimate the talents of the Three Realms. The formidable ones are not only the heavenly sons and daughters, many of the great power's successors will be very strong. Chen Shang frowned as he thought about something, and asked, what level of power does one usually need to be in order to participate in Three Realms talk? We need to have a Dan King, an immortal equipment, a trillion spar, 10 large mines, a large medicine store, and 2 experts who have just crossed the 9 nirvana tribulations. Zhuo Junxuan thought for a while, then said, and also a very famous leader. Chen Shang scratched his chin and thought, if it was his dragon subduing school, he didn't know if he could qualify to participate. He had the immortal equipment, and the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword was fine. It was not difficult for him to gather billions of spar, so he had quite a few on him. It was not hard to find 10 large mines. He had Imperial Crystal. He could be considered to have a large pill shop. As for the Dan King, Hua Shangyu was the Dan King that he knew, but she was a leader of the Dan Fragrance Pure Land, so he could not bring her here. For 2 experts who had survived the 9 tribulations, this was a bit difficult. As for the famous leader, he was very famous. In terms of fame, he was number 2, and no one dared to say he was number 1. Then I can join the Three Realms talk? Chen Shang asked. he suddenly wanted to participate in the Three Realms Talks competition as a leader. There are people who would like to recommend me. For example, if I am invited, I can recommend you. Zuo Junxuan saw that Chen Shang was thinking about something, and asked, "You can't be thinking of letting me recommend some people to participate, right?" Chen Shang spread out his hands and said, "Of course not, I no longer have any relationship with the super martial school. But I might join a sect in the future, and if necessary, Elder Zuo can help me recommend our leader to join that whatever Three Realms Talk." Quote. No problem. Zuo Junxuan agreed very quickly. He did not stop Chen Shang from causing trouble and liked to watch the show. Chapter 914. Alright, I will come back. Alright, I will come back. When Chen Shang left the Devil Subduing College, he thought about how he could raise the Dragon Subduing School to the level where he could participate. He used his Luotian gate to come to the outskirts of the Pill City and asked Long Shui while walking in the forest, "I say, Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, as the great clan elder of the Dragon Subduing School, do you have any way to make me qualified to participate in the Three Realms Talk?" You're not allowed to brag. The disciples of the Dragon Subduing School are either seedlings or people who cannot bear to see the light of day. For example, you, me, Zhao Yiprofound, and Ji Meixian. Who knows how long it will take a rookie like Yun Xiaodao and Zhu Rong to grow up. This is a little difficult, let me think about it again. This time, Long Shui did not brag. She seriously thought of a way, because she also wanted to join the Three Realms Talk. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were also thinking of a way. Chen Shang did not enter the city. He sat under a tree outside the city and thought of a way to enter. Alright, looks like I can only find Li Baojun. This guy should have passed through the 9 Nirvana tribulations and become a Dan King. Chen Shang said. Li Baojun was trustworthy, but it was difficult to find him. If we can find Li Baojun, who is also a Dan King and an expert who has undergone the 9 Nirvana tribulations, then we need to get another expert who has undergone the 9 Nirvana tribulations. Su Meiyao said. However, there were no suitable candidates, although Chen Shang knew many strong warriors, he could not pull them over. It's only temporary, so there's no need to waste the expert's time. Where are we going to find them? Using high-level elixirs could be replaced by others, but it wasn't worth it. Furthermore, it is very hard to trust someone who has randomly found me. If he were to be able to see through my identity, he would definitely make a move against me. Or a battle and you suddenly run away. Chen Shang shook his head. If only I could go to the sacred Dan realm. I can get a boat from the Immortal and the Dan King. Long Shui said. I do you still remember White Tiger Profound Realm? Let's go ask the big white cat to come out. Quote. The big white cat that she was talking about was the white tiger that had reincarnated from the god of slaughter. Previously, Chen Shang was still confused as to why the white tiger was hiding in the mortal realm. Can you think of a more reliable method? Do you think I'm an azure dragon or a black tortoise when you invite a white tiger out of the mountain? Besides, isn't it just dealing with a bunch of kids? Is there a need to invite the god of slaughter out? This is bullying. Chen Shang shook his head. His thoughts were good, but it was not realistic. Why don't you think of a way to raise your strength within a year, overcome the 5 Nirvana tribulations, and release the great lion of Yuming Deep Abyss? Long Shui said. I've only just crossed the 2nd Nirvana tribulation, and I've been raised by 3 levels in a year. Impossible. Chen Shang shook his head. Saving the super old fire beast was not very realistic. Where is super old Sacred Land's little blue dragon? Long Shui said again. A little basketball dragon. If Lan Kang knew, he would definitely spurt out a mouthful of blood. I don't dare see him for a short period of time. He must know that I've tricked a group of people to disturb him. Many old fellows have been rendered half dead by Brother Lan. If he goes, he'll only draw even more hatred. Chen Shang thought for a while, I will still go to White Tiger Profound Realm to take a look, there should be many powerful tigers there. Furthermore, we haven't seen Junjun for a long time, we can go and see how this little tiger has changed. Quote. Bai Junjun had taken Chen Shang to tame the little white tiger that day, and gave it her name before bringing it back to the white tiger fighting race. I miss her too. Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang snorted lightly. Long Shui and Bai Junjun, the 2 big gluttons, had eaten quite a lot of his food. Thought that they should be acquainted. He wanted to ask the white tiger if he could find out anything. The White Tiger Profound Realm was at the bottom of the ocean near the leisurely Immortal Sea. Chen Shang had entered from there with a large group of people the last time. But since Chen Shang came out, the entrance had been closed. If he wanted to go in again, he would have to use the Luotian gate. After many short teleports, he finally reached the Chen martial continent after a few days. The change wasn't too great, it was just that the strength of the various large sects had increased by a lot. He had originally wanted to return to the super martial school, but after sensing how many powerful auras there were inside the city, he felt that it was better to let it go. If he got too close to the super martial school and was discovered, everything that Huang Jintian had planned for would be for naught. He had even made a trip to the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country. He had originally wanted to look for Lu Meng'er and Dongfang Xinyue, but they were not in the Divine Weapons Heavenly Country. He went to the Dan Fragrance Pure Land to look for Hua Shangyu, but found out that the three women were traveling together. Divine Weapons Heavenly Country and Dan Fragrance Pure Land might have also been invited, because this could also be considered a huge battlefield. There have been many great wars between human and demon beasts before this. Chen Shang had only participated in this one time, and he had killed many rankers in the devil race. Chen Shang suddenly remembered that both the devil race and the Blood Wolf King had a feud with him. The Blood Wolf King of the Blood Wolf demonic clan had died in the rough and random profound land, if not it would be a huge enemy to him. After returning to the Chen martial continent, Chen Shang found out that the 100,000 demons had become a super dangerous place because there were many magical corruption gas floating inside. They formed a barrier, and one could only fly through from the high altitude if they wanted to. When Chen Shang arrived near the Lotus Island, the ocean had already disappeared, but there were many mines buried underground. It should be here. Chen Shang took out the Luotian gate to confirm the location. Even though the place he was at was a huge mountain, it was the place he entered the White Tiger Profound Realm back then. Activating the Luotian gate, Chen Shang successfully opened the dimensional door, and after he entered, he appeared beside a small river. Standing by the riverside, he watched as the small river slowly flowed by, sucking in the enchanting fragrance of the flowers. He really wanted to stay here for a period of time before leaving, the environment here was simply too good. This was the White Tiger Profound Realm, but it was different from what he saw when he first entered. At that time, the surroundings were ice and snow, but now, the place was filled with the fragrance of flowers and birds. Just as Chen Shang entered, he saw an old man coming out of nowhere. He had a kind smile on his face. This old man was the patriarch of the White Tiger fighting race, Bai Zan. "Little brother, you're finally here. The little girl, Junjun, has been wanting to look for you all day." Bai Zan laughed and said. Although he looked kind, this old fellow was the patriarch of the White Tiger fighting race, his strength was unfathomable. Chapter 915. Chen Shang followed Bai Zan to a giant tree that was as thick as a mountain. This tree had a few holes, he guessed that there were people staying inside. When did these big white cats turn into monkeys? They all live on trees. Long Shui was completely puzzled. Chen Shang carefully looked at the giant tree in front of him, whose trunk was like a pillar of the sky and whose crown covered the sky. At this moment, he could clearly feel the powerful vitality of this tree. The White Tiger fighting race has really changed a lot. Chen Shang and the bench under the tree were waiting for Bai Zan to call Bai Junjun out. After a while, Chen Shang saw a very large leaf floating down from the sky. This leaf was as big as a bed, and gently floated down. The big leaf had a white shadow on it. It was actually a 4 or 5-year-old girl, holding a fruit with many small bite marks on it. She hugged Chen Shang, and with her young and cute voice, she shouted, "Master, Junjun misses you." Chen Shang put the cute little girl down and looked at her carefully. Bai Junjun had changed into her human form, but she was still too young. She was actually a little girl around 4 years old, wearing a set of exquisite white clothes. Chen Shang caressed her little face and laughed. "You want to eat my fruits, right?" Bai Junjun stuck out his tongue and laughed. "No way, I really do miss you. When I'm together with you, I can eat good things every day." "So you're saying that you're really hungry, and that you've been infected by that little dragon?" Chen Shang laughed and took out some spirit fruits and some spirit beast pills, making the girl dance with joy. "Don't call me master, you and I will get rid of the master-servant contract. If you call me that, your parents will beat me up." Chen Shang was very worried that this little girl's parents were really strong. Bai Junjun rolled her eyes, pouted her small mouth, and smirked. "Give me some more food, and I won't call you master. You will be my big brother from now on." "Alright, for the sake of not getting beaten up by your parents, for the sake of becoming your little girl's brother, take it." Chen Shang pinched her cheeks and took out some spirit fruits. These were not considered high-leveled, but they were not bad either, at least Bai Junjun liked them. Chen Shang had never lacked these things. Brother, are you going to look for the prophet? I'll bring you there, come up. Bai Junjun hopped onto the large leaf that could fly. Was very happy that such a cute little girl had called him big brother. He muttered in his heart, it's all little girls, why is it that there's such a huge gap between us when comparing a certain dragon and someone else? You are gluttonous, impolite, and happy to brag so much every day. You are also very lustful. You're not talking about me, are you? Long Shui was suddenly very unhappy. I never thought that you would have such self-awareness. I'm talking about you, little naughty dragon. Chen Shang laughed. Humph, I, as a dignified heavenly dragon supreme lord, disdain to compete with this little white cat. Long Shui snorted. Oh yeah, where's Sister Long? I miss her. Bai Junjun controlled the big leaf to glide around the big tree with Chen Shang. It allowed Chen Shang to clearly feel the beautiful scenery here, and absorb the rich plant essence. Little Junjun, big sister misses you too. Long Shui suddenly ran out and allowed the big leaf to descend. After stabilizing the leaf, Bai Junjun pounced on Long Shui's body and rubbed his chest. The culprit. Chen Shang glanced at Long Shui's chest, and mumbled to himself. He felt that this was the thing that could make the big leaves fly very slowly. Little Junjun, do you want to drink grandma? Long Shui saw that Bai Junjun had buried his head in her chest and laughed softly. Don't teach bad kids. Chen Shang said with a stern face. You are jealous of little Junjun. Long Shui's small and beautiful oval face was full of pride. I only eat fruits and not milk. But if Sister Long has any, I also want to try some dragon milk. Bai Junjun laughed mischievously. Long Shui actually laughed tenderly as she opened her shirt, revealing half of her jade breasts. Then, she hurriedly covered up her clothes, causing Chen Shang to continuously curse in his heart. Elder sister doesn't want to see that big white cat. I'll be leaving first. Next time, I'll let you drink my milk. Long Shui caressed Bai Junjun's little face, gave her some fruits, and then entered his ring. Little pervert, you only know how to teach bad people. Chen Shang snorted. Put Chen Shang down the tree and then left. She did not dare to casually enter the white tiger's house, but Chen Shang could, because Chen Shang received the white tiger's acknowledgement. You're finally here. The white tiger emerged from the tree hole. Chen Shang saw this ordinary-looking young man once again. He looked ordinary with not a hint of presence, but he was the reincarnated white tiger. Senior, have you been waiting for me for a long time? Chen Shang asked. I know a little about the matters outside. I think you should have come earlier. The white tiger laughed. He brought Chen Shang into a small living room and poured some water for Chen Shang, shocking him. At this time, Chen Shang suddenly wanted to invite the white tiger out to bring it to the Three Realms talk. Why is Senior waiting for me? Why would you think I would come? Chen Shang felt that it was very strange. You have obtained a heaven-earth killing method, it should be a ground killing. The white tiger said, you have been to the Lion Mountain before. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is a lion, maybe this white tiger really has something to do with 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Chen Shang nodded her head. When I first stepped onto Lion Mountain, Slaughter God's hand made me release a very strong killing intent. That's right. Actually, Slaughter God's hand is not a complete white tiger divine weapon, only half of it. Was stunned by the white tiger's words. This Slaughter God's hand was actually only half of the white tiger divine weapon, and he was already so strong. When he didn't use the green dragon demon slain broadsword, this white tiger divine weapon gave him a very powerful strength, making his hands even stronger. Chen Shang suddenly thought of something bad. He took a deep breath and said, the other half shouldn't be a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's place, right? The white tiger laughed. You guessed it right. When you stepped into the Lion Mountain, you resonated with the other half, which is why there was such a reaction. Why is he a 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's place? Since Chen Shang already knew that there was another half, he had to go and find the other half. Otherwise, he would feel extremely uncomfortable. I lent it to that bastard. It's a pity that he didn't return it to me and even brought it to my grave. It would be very difficult for me to enter that damned place. The white tiger sighed. What? This 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is really a bastard. Chen Shang looked at the white tiger fist gloves on his hands and muttered, how can you casually lend this kind of thing to others? He isn't just anyone, he is a member of my white tiger fighting race, and can be considered my head disciple. The white tiger said. Chen Shang almost sat down on his seat. The legendary 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was actually the head of the White Tiger. This White Tiger was really an antique. Actually, I feel somewhat guilty about this matter. Because you have defeated me, you should have obtained a complete White Tiger divine weapon. That's why I'm considering how I can make up for it. The White Tiger said. Make up to me? Chen Shang secretly laughed in his heart. No matter what, he would have to make a trip to the Emperor's tomb in the future, and he would definitely be able to find the other half of the White Tiger divine weapon. Seeing Chen Zhang's gloomy smile, the White Tiger had a bad premonition. Chapter 916. Now, the White Tiger could tell that Chen Shang did not come to find him because of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, but because of some other reason. Seeing Chen Zhang's sinister expression, he felt that he had unknowingly jumped into a trap and dug this dangerous place himself. Senior White Tiger is indeed worthy of being a martial saint. I don't need anything to make up for it. I only know how to make up for my mistakes. Chen Shang laughed, changed the subject, and said, but right now, I need Senior to help me with a little. To Senior, it's nothing more than a small matter. The White Tiger felt that he owed Chen Shang a lot even if he had been in the White Tiger divine weapon, because even he couldn't bring out the other half of the White Tiger divine weapon right now. What kind of help? As long as it's within my capabilities, I will definitely help you. The White Tiger agreed straightforwardly. Chen Shang chuckled. I want to participate in the meetings held by the strong powers in the third region of the human demon realm, but if I want to participate, I need some conditions. I need a strong person to stand guard over. If it's inconvenient for Senior, you can lend me a powerful person. The matter of the 3 realms talk you mentioned. I know a bit about it too. Since this is a great assembly of humans and demons, I wish to take a look as well. The White Tiger nodded. This wasn't anything difficult for him. Chen Shang expressed his thanks again and again, but he was extremely happy and almost shouted out loud in joy. This brat has stirred up quite a lot of people outside. When the time comes, quite a few people will come to find trouble with me, so. White Tiger waved his hand. Don't worry, I'll help you settle it when the time comes. Chen Shang said respectfully, thank you, Senior. When 3 realms talk is about to begin, I will come and find you. Don't expect me to bring you into the Emperor's tomb. Qi Shi's grave isn't easy to enter. The White Tiger said. Qi Shi, this was the name of 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. This was the first time Chen Shang had heard of this, and even Ji Meixian and Zhao Yiprofound did not know his name. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord was the head disciple of the White Tiger, so the White Tiger definitely knew a lot about him. Although Chen Shang wanted to know, it was not the time for him to ask. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is really dead. How did he die? Logically speaking, such a strong existence would not have died. Chen Shang was confused, although he did not say it out loud, but the White Tiger saw the doubt on his face. There are some things that you will know when the time comes. As for that piece of history, I don't want to talk about it anymore. In short, when the next era arrives, that piece of history will once again surface. Quote. The piece of history that the White Tiger spoke of was the piece of history that the Duan clan had been digging up for many years. It was the details of the fall of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord and the collapse of DTN. After Chen Shang bid farewell to the White Tiger, he jumped down from the tree hole. The mischievous Bai Junjun rode on the big leaf and flew over, catching Chen Shang. Chen Shang really liked this beautiful little girl. Although she was a little naughty and gluttonous, she was still a little cute. He chatted with Bai Junjun for a while before realizing that the big tree was obtained by the White Tiger. It provided the entire White Tiger profound realm with a large amount of life force, and was the lifeline of this profound realm. White Tiger fighting race's reproductive ability was very weak, so a little guy like Bai Junjun was very precious and received great love from the White Tiger fighting race. Bai Junjun could not leave the area covered by the big tree, so she could not send Chen Shang too far away. Bai Zan came to pick Chen Shang up. Although Chen Zhang's strength was considered the weakest in the entire White Tiger fighting race, Bai Zan knew very well how difficult it was to get his hands on the White Tiger divine weapon. There were many powerful White Tigers in the White Tiger fighting race who tried to challenge the White Tiger but failed in the end. The White Tiger fighting race respected the strong, so Bai Zan was very courteous to Chen Shang, and he even told Chen Shang to stay for a bit longer, to wait for the young White Tigers that had gone out to come back, then exchange pointers with him. Uncle Clan Leader, how did your prophets find out about what happened outside? Does he go out often? Chen Shang asked. The White Tiger seemed to be very familiar with what was happening outside. This is mainly what we sent people to investigate and then report back to him. But even if we don't, he will know. Otherwise, we wouldn't call him a prophet. Bai Zhan laughed. Brat, what a big commotion you are causing outside, all of us brats want to fight with you. Chen Shang said. Hee, if there's a chance, I also want to fight with them. Oh right, I have something to ask you. If the white tiger wants to see your prophet, will you accept it? Quote. I can't wait for more. The astral white tiger's bloodline was extremely lost. Many years ago, the prophet sent his family's experts to the starry sky to search, but there was no news of them at all. Could it be that you have seen the white tiger? Bai Zhan asked seriously. I have, in sacred Dan realm, his name is Bai Xing, he is very strong, and helped me summon a star. Chen Shang said. Really, I will immediately report it to the prophet and let him think of a way to contact sacred Dan realm's white tiger. Bai Zhan became excited and left in a flash. Chen Shang took out the Luotian gate, opened a spatial door, and left the white tiger profound realm. Prophet, logically, for the white tiger to awaken, there should be a very complicated ceremony. Only you or the elders and patriarchs of the Starry Sky White Tiger race would know about the ceremony. Does the Starry Sky White Tiger race still have patriarchs and elders? During the battle against DTN, the entire star domain was destroyed, and the Starry Sky White Tiger race still had a legacy. Bai Zhan said as he frowned. I also felt that it was strange. I had almost despaired for many years. I never thought that it would be in sacred Dan realm, and as for the awakening ceremony, everyone knows about it. It was probably the little white dragon that told the little kid to help him awaken. Inform the sacred Dan realm immediately and have them investigate thoroughly. I will personally go see her when the time comes. For example, the current Bai Junjun could get personal guidance from him. Many of the young generation of White Tiger fighting race were taught by him to grow up. After Chen Shang left the White Tiger profound realm, he had to quickly return to Dan City. Right now, he had to find Li Baojun. He did not know whether Li Baojun had flown up, or else he would have to find a reliable Dan King. Looks like I can only try to use high-grade medicinal ingredients to lure this old fellow out. Chen Shang came to the place where the bounty was placed. It was a tall tower built by the Dan Alliance. Let's use the longevity fruit. I finally copied one of these. Su Meiyao said. Longevity fruit were immortal fruits, and required a lot of them. Chapter 917. Chen Shang placed a bounty order in the hall, and there were quite a few people who posted such items. The highest bounty was a few 100 million spar. Of course, he was not using the longevity fruit as reward, he was only using it to lure Li Baojun out. However, the reward was not low either. It was a piece of profound energy quenching body Dan, a high-grade ground-level quenching body Dan. In the eyes of some people who urgently needed it, it was even more precious than the relive Dan. Chen Shang had released a bounty on the old man so that he could appraise the pellet. The bounty had the old man's portrait and the image of the longevity fruit on it, which meant the old man had refined the longevity fruit into a pellet. If he could find her, Chen Shang promised to give her a piece of profound energy quenching body Dan as compensation. Sedan Alliance quickly spread the news out. No one recognized Li Baojun, but many of the old alchemists recognized the longevity fruit, especially those Tongtian aristocratic family S and Sage Realm Dan King S. They went in and out of the pill tower several times a day, wanting to meet Chen Shang and see the appearance of the longevity fruit with their own eyes. To many people who could not break through, this was something that defied the will of the heavens. If the Dan Immortal could refine it into an immortal pellet and refine 2 of them, that would increase their lifespan by 20,000 years, even if a mortal lived for 20,000 years, let alone a cultivator. There were many immortals in the human realm that came from there. Let alone these immortals, even the big shots of the big powers in the heaven realm would all snatch them away crazily. Cultivating could help a person live for a long time, but it was not immortal, especially when one was unable to break through later on. As long as one was stuck for too long, they would die quickly, and if they could increase their lifespan, there would still be a chance for them to live for a long time. This was the reaction that Chen Shang needed. He knew that a lot of people would help to pass the news to him. At that time, even the heaven realm would probably help. Even in heaven realm, there were very few medicinal ingredients. Now that he had the chance to refine the immortal grade's medicinal ingredients, even Dan Immortal would be unable to resist. Chen Shang reckoned that Li Baojun was just a Dan King. Even if he could not refine an immortal pill, he would still be forced to come out due to this bounty. He had even left a secret signal inside the bounty, so the moment Li Baojun saw it, she would definitely recognize it as him. In order to find Li Baojun, Chen Shang had to stay in Pill City. He had originally planned to start learning how to refine high-grade ground-level pills, but after trying it out with his dual foreseeing alchemy, he was immediately defeated. The difficulty was too great. Right now, you have only just mastered the second stage of foreseeing alchemy. When you are able to use the second stage to refine as you please, you can then learn the third stage of foreseeing alchemy. Su Meiyao said. A high-leveled pill was not only difficult to deal with medicinal ingredients, there were also a lot of unknowns. Chen Shang felt that even if he mastered the third stage of foreseeing alchemy, he would still not be able to refine a high-leveled ground-level pill perfectly. At that time, like the other alchemist, he would only be able to produce one pill. He felt that if he wanted to make full use of the medicinal ingredients to refine pills, he would need to master at least the fourth stage of foreseeing alchemy. Only then would he be able to produce more high-grade ground-level pills and easily use the medicinal ingredients. Many of the alchemists were eager to gain benefits, they only wanted to obtain high-quality pills and not quality pills, so the price of high-quality pills was more than 2 times higher than the lower-quality pills. I can take advantage of this time to learn Heavenly Alchemy and God-Slain Method S. Chen Shang rented a small house and started to study the Heavenly Alchemy. After being immersed in studying it for a few days, he forgot to go to Dan Alliance to see if there was any news. It's too amazing, no wonder even Great Yan Jing only learned a little of it in 10 days, this Heavenly Alchemy is really too powerful. Chen Shang looked at it for a few days in succession as he exclaimed in shock. How powerful is it? Su Meiyao was extremely curious, for the past 2 days she had been called Chen Shang, and Chen Shang did not even pay attention to her. Refining the heavenly thunder into a pill, the mountains into a pill, the powerful beasts into a pill, the various energies in the world into a pill, the sun, moon and stars into a pill, Chen Shang muttered. If he did not own the heavenly alchemy, he would not have believed this ridiculous thought. Is this something a human can do? Su Meiyao was also in disbelief, but this heavenly alchemy was something that he had learned before in his life, and he had not even learned it yet. I don't know, maybe 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord can do a small part of this. Chen Shang let out a long sigh. This heavenly alchemy was extremely profound, and required a very powerful force to feel it. Isn't the heavenly alchemy useless for you right now? Is there any pill forging technique suitable for people to learn? Su Meiyao scoffed, she felt that only a god would be able to do what Chen Shang had said before. Yes, it is a small trick. It is to refine multiple medicinal ingredients at the same time, allowing one to produce many pills in one go. Moreover, you do not need to rely on the pill refining furnace to refine it. I can improve it a little and add Yanlong furnace S. Chen Shang said. That's not bad, it can increase the speed of refining pills in alchemist, especially for you. Su Meiyao praised. Chen Shang also thought that this method was pretty good, because he had a lot of herbs. To support a sector of pill shop, it would be very difficult for him to refine pills by himself. Anything else? Su Meiyao asked again. Chen Shang shook his head. I did not read the rest. All I saw were the pills used to concoct the pills, I will try to concoct more of them first. He told Su Meiyao to process the 3 sets of Zhuji Dan's medicinal ingredients. If he wanted to open a sect, a large number of Zhuji Dan would be indispensable. Zhuji Dan's were low-grade profound level pills, and concocting one furnace was the easiest for Chen Shang, but right now he wanted to concoct 3 batches at the same time. Previously, Chen Shang had tried to use both the magic method furnace and the pill refining furnace to refine it at the same time, but now he was going to use 3 of the magic method furnace to concoct 3 batches of pills, which had very high requirements for his spiritual sense. The heavenly alchemy originally needed someone with a strong spiritual sense to learn it, otherwise, it wouldn't be placed together with the God-Slain method. The 3 floating medicinal ingredients were placed in 3 separate transparent pill furnaces. Chen Shang released a flame and began to refine the medicinal ingredients. When Chen Shang went through his ultimate tribulation, he fused with the seed of fire, causing the heaven fire soul to become even stronger. The heaven fire he released out, under his exquisite control, instantly melted the Zhuji Dan's medicine, and the medicine aura and the medicine powder were separated out. This was the benefit of fire soul. Although flames could instantly refine medicinal herbs, they would not be affected by it. The 3 balls of azure light rotated within the secret chamber. Each time they revolved, the azure light would shine fiercely and dazzlingly, as if they were the 3 stars in the night sky. What kind of pill forging technique is this? If you don't know magic method furnace S, can you learn it? Su Meiyao's heart itched from looking at the ring, he wished that he could start to learn now. This is called the Dawen refining method. At most, you can refine 10,000 sets at the same time. It's very scary, isn't it? But according to the heavenly alchemy, this is not used to refine pills, but the things I mentioned before. Chapter 918. When Su Meiyao thought about the Dawen refining method and refining the myriad cauldron pill at the same time, he was shocked. Chen Shang had only made 3 batches, but that multicolored light had already given people a strong visual impact. Forget about 10,000 batches, even 100 batches would be enough to scare them to death. Oh right, there are some spirit grains added on top of the heavenly alchemy, but I have yet to see that part. Chen Shang said. He had only tried to refine congenital Juyuan Dan once before, and later on when he was refining the pills, he wanted to add a few spirit grains to increase the effect. However, he discovered that many of the array formations were not suitable for refining pills. He had accumulated quite a bit regarding spirit grain and formations. It could only be said that the number of spirit grain used to concoct pills was too little. If necessary, he would have to develop them himself. Of course, if he were to learn that divine book, he might even have a big breakthrough. In other words, those 10 heavens Supreme Lords could not have been created by him using this method. Long Shui guessed. Chen Shang was shocked and almost lost his focus, almost dispersing the 3 balls of mist. However, with his rich experience in handling difficult problems, he managed to stabilize himself. It's very possible that the heavenly alchemy is not only capable of refining mountains and rivers into a pill, but it is also capable of refining mountains and rivers. It can absorb the energy of heaven and earth, and replace all living things from heaven and earth. Chen Shang said. Too terrifying, looks like 10 heavens Supreme Lord has learned quite a lot. Initially, she thought that it would take a very long time and a lot of manpower to create those Lion Mountains. However, if she used that heavenly alchemy, she could create them by herself. The 3 batches of Zuji Dan soon succeeded, 4 of them for 1 barbecue, and there were 12 of them here. In order to master the Dawen refining method, one had to first not rely on the furnace to concoct pills, then they had to simultaneously master multiple pill furnaces. It required some techniques to control fire, as well as spiritual sense, which were all recorded in the Dawen refining method. Only refining 3 batches, to Chen Shang, was still too simple, because he already had a foundation. 10 batches. This should be very difficult. Chen Shang took out 10 batches of Zuji Dan's medicinal ingredients and used his mana to control these medicinal ingredients to float in the secret room. Then, he released 10 magic method furnaces and stored these medicinal ingredients. 10 batches of Zuji Dan S are easy to refine. What about 10 batches of Zon Beast pills? Long Shui imagined how Chen Shang would be able to concoct 100,000 profound beast cores at a time. At that time, the profound beast cores would be like a small mountain, and she would be able to roll on top of it. Learning the Dawen refining method had another benefit, it was allowing him to become familiar with using his mind energy. Although he had a very strong mind energy, if he did not know how to use it, it would just be a decoration. For example, a strong man with a full body of strength who did not know how to use any martial skills, it would just be a waste of his strength. Therefore, Chen Shang needed to do a lot of practice in this area, allowing him to freely control his powerful spiritual sense. The secret room was a little small, and the 10 batches of Zuji Dan were split into 2 rows. The ingredients had already been smelted into medicine aura S, and Chen Shang was currently controlling the medicine aura S to fuse with the medicinal powder to form 10 balls of cyan light that flashed explosively. Like 10 small cyan suns, the entire secret room was filled with cyan light. Chen Shang was drenched in sweat, his brows were still twitching, and he realized that he had a strong consciousness, but it was powerless to control it. He had a vast mana and could use mana to display a very powerful heavenly dragon seal. However, to make him carefully control and refine the 10 furnace pill was so difficult that it was difficult for him to do so. We failed. This was the first time Chen Shang felt this way. It was not that his consciousness was lacking, his strength was lacking, or that he lacked experience, it was that he could not display his true strength. Don't be discouraged, finding out your weakness is always good. At least you can correct it now, you can borrow the Dawen refining method to practice it properly. Su Meiyao was naturally clear about the reason for Chen Zhang's failure. Junior sister is right, you've already done very well. Bai Yu encouraged others as well. These past few years, the 2 girls had always been this way, causing Chen Shang to always have the motivation to act when he failed. If you learn it well, you might be able to use the transformation techniques to create more tricks. You can use this Dawen refining method to help you build a firm foundation, and after you successfully refine the 10 furnace pill, I'll teach you. Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang took out 10 batches of Zuji Dan's medicinal ingredients. Starting from the start, those medicine auras just now had already dispersed. Only a few remained in the secret room. Although it was difficult to control, he had already taken a step forward. Once he could refine the Zuji Dan, he would try to obtain an even higher level pellet. Pill City was once again bustling with noise and excitement. The first few times, it was because of Chen Shang, but this time, it was because of the longevity fruit. Many people had crooked thoughts and wanted to snatch it away. No matter what the bounty was, no one had ever seen Li Baojun, especially those Dan King's. They knew that the person who issued the bounty orders appointed Li Baojun to refine the longevity fruit into a pill, which meant that Li Baojun's pill refining level was very high. However, no one had ever seen someone like this. It was a pity that the bounty token did not have a name. Otherwise, they would have been able to tell what the name was based on. Longevity fruits were regarded as the highest level medicine that had appeared before, because it was an immortal fruit. In mortal realm, there was such a thing, so everyone could not help but to question, did it really belong to the mortal realm? Of course, many people now knew that this mortal realm used to stand above the 9 heavens and 10 hells, and was called DTN. However, he had declined and many people still called him mortal realm. The pill tower was bustling with activity, the people crowded inside were all waiting for the longevity fruit master to appear. They wanted to see who it was. This pill city was a big city, and the people who stayed here were mostly rich and affluent people. Even the waiters who worked in the shops had plenty of spars. Why did this kid lure me out? Fortunately I already ate the beauty Dan, otherwise, I would definitely be annoyed to death right now. Quote. He was the Li Baojun that Chen Shang was looking for, and also the person that many of the great powers had sent large groups of people to look for. Li Baojun had arrived very early, and on the 3rd day after the bounty was issued, he arrived at Pill City. Because he was in the continent of the king, he concealed his identity and used the wealth left to him by his master Li Tianjin to purchase many spirit medicines to use in pill refining to raise his level. Don't look at his shabby clothes, the pills inside his storage magic treasure could make many Dan Kings die from greed. It was probably only Chen Shang who would not want his pills. Li Baojun had naturally come for the longevity fruit, as long as he was an alchemist, there was nothing that he wouldn't be moved by it. Although he couldn't find Chen Shang, he still patiently waited for him to come. He was glad that he recognized Chen Shang, otherwise, it would be very difficult to get close to the longevity fruit. Chapter 919. In a small house in a secluded corner of the Pill City, Chen Shang was refining 10 batches of Zuji Dan using his Dawen refining method in a secret room. Right now in his mind, he was still in the process of refining 10 batches of pills. This was different from that, since multiple foreseeing alchemies were different from when he was refining a single batch of pills. After that, he would fuse the results of the 10 batches of pills together and get the correct result. Had already failed 6 times, but every time he failed and started refining new pills, he would progress. Had already reached the final stage of condensing his core. He wanted to divide each ball of mist into 4 parts, and then condense them into cores. This was an extremely difficult task, but Chen Zhang's consciousness had now improved by leaps and bounds, and the 10 balls of golden green mist were slowly splitting apart. Not long later, inside each transparent magic method furnace, there were 4 balls of cyan-colored small cyclones, and in the entire secret room, there were 40 balls of gas that were floating in a gold-green-colored sea, shining like 40 dazzling stars. Right now, Chen Shang had already reached the most critical juncture, pill condensation. Although the 10 magic method furnace were transparent, they were still formed from condensed Fa Li and had substantial power. Currently, they appeared to be extremely unstable and they shook at the same time, causing the entire house to shake as well. Was covered in sweat, his head was in slight pain. At this time, his consciousness had already reached the limit of his control. If he continued to persevere, there would only be 2 results. His soul would either be injured, or his breakthrough successfully. The wound to his soul was no trivial matter. He began to hesitate, whether he should persevere in condensing the pill or give up. Now that he was at the final critical point of forming the core, he was only 1 step away from success. If he gave up now, he would miss this opportunity to break through. Although his control over his spiritual sense had increased by a lot, it was still limited. He still could not completely control his powerful spiritual sense. Chen Shang clenched his teeth, let out a deep roar, and fully released all his strength. He released all his spiritual sense and magical power, and without thinking about any consequences, fused the two things together, forming a golden light that could be seen by the naked eye, enveloping the balls of air. This is divine power. My spiritual sense and magic power have perfectly fused together to form this, so right now, I can only barely cultivate it. This does not fit with common sense. His soul must have at least reached a superb realm to be able to cultivate and produce divine power. Long Shui was extremely depressed. In order to cultivate God power, she had to put in a lot of effort and only managed to learn the art of cultivating God power because of her inherited memories and fate. To step into perfection, spirit cultivation, especially for humans, was a must to step into perfection, and it was necessary to do so through enlightenment. When did what happened to this little scoundrel make sense? Su Meiyao laughed. So you're saying that little scoundrel has entered the realm of perfection? Not yet, but he's half a step into that level. I thought that he would need to become at least an immortal to be able to comprehend the Tao. I really didn't expect him to accidentally produce divine power while concocting pills. Long Shui was extremely unhappy. He snorted, a blind cat has met a dead rat. However, when she had stepped into the realm of perfection, she was still feeling extremely pleased with herself, because she was very satisfied with her own cultivation speed, thinking that she was even stronger than the Imperial Dragon Race Emperor, even though she had suffered a lot. But now, Chen Shang had figured out how to condense the divine power. This made her feel very comfortable, and very jealous. Chen Shang didn't know what had happened. Just now, in order to condense the pill, he used his spirit power and spirit power at all costs. In that instant, he only felt that he had entered a very strange state. He could clearly feel that the soul in his sea of consciousness was crazily absorbing the soul consciousness in the sea of consciousness, as if the soul and the sea of consciousness were fused together. The mana and the soul consciousness could easily fuse together into a very powerful invisible force, which made him feel like he could use this power to pull up some mountains. The light rays from the secret room disappeared, and 40 Zuji Dan suspended in the air. Chen Shang gathered his power, and all of them gathered towards him, and were placed into a jade box. They are all of high quality, Chen Shang said happily. Although something very strange had happened just now, he did not know that he had cultivated God power so quickly. Long Shui scoffed, little scoundrel, you've cultivated godly strength, don't you know? Tell me what happened just now, and I'll give you some pointers. Quote. Something really has happened. I feel like I can easily control those powerful mana and divine intents right now. Chen Shang said. That's for sure, because those powers have all become divine powers, and you are the one controlling them. However, you have not completely transformed your sea of consciousness into divine sense sea. Chen Shang told Long Shui about the changes in his sea of consciousness. Long Shui exclaimed, little monster, you are actually starting to transform your sea of consciousness. It won't be long before you obtain the divine sense sea. Chen Shang laughed. So you're saying that I will soon enter the heavenly completion stage? I'm still far from being able to do that, but I'm sure that you will be able to attain perfection. Your sea of consciousness is very big, and it will take you a long time to transform it. What a little monster. The sea of consciousness is even larger than our Emperor Dragon, who was born to be a god. Long Shui muttered. This is all because of my guidance from Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord. Yes, that must be it. In terms of cultivating the divine way, Long Shui did contribute greatly, so Chen Shang was very grateful to her as well. Many thanks, Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, come out and let me kneel down to thank you. Chen Shang laughed. Humph, I'm going out to pinch your face. I won't do it, anyone can pinch the face of my Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord. Long Shui snorted. But I've squeezed it many times. That's because I'm magnanimous. I won't argue with you, and I won't pinch you again in the future. Chen Shang only laughed. He decided that when Long Shui comes out, he would definitely rub her charming face, and even her chest. We should go out and see if our Dan King has found him. He washed his body, changed his clothes, changed his appearance, and walked towards Pill Tower. Li Baojun would wait outside the Pill Tower every day. Although he did not know how Chen Shang would find him, he had no other choice but to come here and squat every day. The moment Chen Shang got close to the Pill Tower, he felt a very familiar aura. This made him very happy, because Li Baojun had come. Chapter 920. There were many people in the hall of the Pill Tower. Chen Shang glanced at the hall inside the Pill Tower, then shifted his gaze to the crowd outside, searching for the source of the familiar smell. Very quickly, he saw a middle-aged man in simple clothes. Although Li Baojun was much younger, Chen Shang could still recognize the outline of his face. Li Baojun saw a young man with average looks walking towards him and immediately frowned, because the person in front of him did not look like Chen Shang and there were no signs of him changing his appearance. From the aura of the innate qi, Li Baojun could tell that he was a warrior of the extreme realm. "It's me." Chen Shang smiled at Li Baojun. Li Baojun was startled. He was still curious why such a person would approach him. He did not expect that it was actually Chen Shang. "Senior, let's talk somewhere else," Chen Shang whispered to Li Baojun. Li Baojun anxiously nodded his head. He was already excited, because he would be able to see the longevity fruit very soon. Inside the Pill Tower, there were many old Dan King waiting for the longevity fruit to appear, but he did not know that the person who had the longevity fruit was Chen Shang, who was unknown whether he was dead or alive. "Hee, let's go." Li Baojun patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. He wanted to quickly go to a convenient place to talk and take a look at the longevity fruit. Chen Shang brought Li Baojun back to the small house, entered the secret room, and then changed back to his own appearance. This shocked Li Baojun. "Did you eat some pill that could change your appearance? This is too amazing. What kind of pill is this?" It was said that these transfiguration pills were of the lower grade heaven level. Not only could they change one's appearance, they could also change one's size. "Farewell," Li Baojun said. "It's a disguise. I can only change my face. I was lucky enough to get my hands on one." Chen Shang laughed. Li Baojun nodded. "Oh, so it's dissemination. This is a high-grade ground-level pellet. The medicinal strength will last for 3 years. Within 3 years, it will be able to activate the medicinal strength, causing the muscles on the face to change, thus achieving the effect of changing one's appearance." Quote. Li Baojun had indeed received Li Tianjin's inheritance, and with such a deep understanding of medicinal pellets, many alchemists had never heard of these pellets before. "Senior, you must have eaten the beauty Dan, right?" "Of course. Originally, I didn't want to eat it either, but I had no choice. Boy, let my portrait be pasted all over the world." Li Baojun laughed helplessly. "All right, just say it directly if you have something to say, right?" Just as Li Baojun finished speaking, he asked again, "You really have that longevity fruit?" Chen Shang laughed. "I really do. I just want to ask for senior's help. As long as I'm done, I can give you the longevity fruit." Li Baojun quickly said, "What is it? Let alone 1, even 10 or 100 would not be a problem." Quote. Chen Shang suddenly wanted Li Baojun to help him out by 100, but he felt that it was not very good. Originally, he had only planned to let Li Baojun help out, but now, he wanted Li Baojun to stay in his dragon subduing school. This matter might delay senior 1 to 2 years. Li Baojun waved his hand and said, "Forget about 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2,000 years wouldn't be a problem. With a thing like the longevity fruit, what kind of time are you arguing with me about?" Chen Shang laughed. "That's right, I only wanted senior to temporarily become my sect's Dan King, because I want to join that 3 realms talk. If my sect has 2 rankers with strength surpassing Nirvana stage and 1 Dan King, I can find someone to recommend them to us. As long as the 3 realms talk is here, we will consider our cooperation as complete." Quote. "Senior, you should have passed through the 9 Nirvana tribulations, right?" Li Baojun replied without thinking, "Of course I passed through the 9 Nirvana tribulations. Is that all you want me to do? And then you gave me the longevity fruit? This is too simple." Quote. I'm just helping me temporarily. Let's not talk about the temporary period. How long will it be all right for us to hang on for?" "Right, after you were expelled from Super Martial School, what sect did you join?" "There is actually a sect that dares to take you in. This sect must be amazing. Why is there a lack of Dan King-s?" Only now did Li Baojun start to have doubts. How could he not know about what Chen Shang had done? Chen Shang coughed dryly, and said, "It's called Dragon Subduing School." Dragon Subduing School? Wasn't he planning to fight against the dragon? It is indeed a little sect. Who is leader? Take me to see him. Li Baojun nodded. Leader is me. I was the one who created this Dragon Subduing School. There are not enough manpower right now. The sect gate is not decided. The property is temporarily gone, but it will be better in the future. Chen Shang said in embarrassment. The corner of Li Baojun's eyes twitched. What kind of sect is this? But come to think of it, I want to try and see what it's like to establish a sect with my own hands. Quote. You want to participate in the Three Realms talk? Could he be here to cause trouble? Quote. Chen Shang laughed. Of course not, I have the green dragon demon slain broadsword, I feel that I cannot be absent. He took out a black fruit and handed it over to Li Baojun, causing him to stare at it blankly. Although the fruit was gray, he recognized that it was the longevity fruit. Li Baojun was not stupid, he had already considered joining Chen Shang. Previously, when Chen Shang used the name Li Renshan to impersonate Li Tianjin's successor, he was extremely furious. However, after knowing that it was Chen Shang, and even the precious heaven-level Essen elixirs, he guessed that Chen Shang must have had some sort of fortuitous encounter, and obtained the medicine garden left behind by a great figure. Right now, Chen Shang also had a longevity fruit, so this kind of thing was rare even in the heaven realm. If he could use the longevity fruit to refine the longevity pill, he might be a young Dan immortal. Let me say this first, I am just a pill refiner. I don't know how to fight, I don't know how to be a helper. But I can guarantee that your henchmen will have enough pills. So when you're with me, don't make any trouble. Li Baojun said as he put away the longevity fruit. For Chen Shang to give the longevity fruit to him so quickly meant that she had absolute trust in him. Chen Shang nodded his head repeatedly. Don't worry, Dan King is very important to a sect, I definitely won't do something as foolish as this. Oh right, Elder Li, do you have a better place for us to rest for the time being? Quote. It's in a small mountain outside the city. Follow me. Said, he had obtained a celestial fruit, and now, even if Chen Shang wanted him to be his helper, he was very willing. Chen Shang never thought that a longevity fruit could recruit a very powerful Dan King. He was also very happy because he still had the longevity fruit, and if he had the time in the future, he could find several more. Li Baojun led the way and brought Chen Shang out of Pill City through the north gate. Just as they left the city, Chen Shang discovered that there were a few experts with similar strengths coming over, all of them were from the Pill City. Li Baojun also noticed that, he looked at Chen Shang, who quickly spread out his hands and said, I hid my abilities very well, this has nothing to do with me. Leader, if these people want to kill us for our goods, how about we kill them right here? Li Baojun asked. Chen Zhang's face revealed a smile, and said, Elder Li, don't be polite with me, just do as you wish.